Gather round, freaks. Tonight on the show, it's 1989 in Hong Kong. Or is it 2024? Either way, it's going to be an eye for an eye, a bloodbath high. So gather around the internet radio and let them doves go, because it's time once again for Hey, did Woo see this one? Hello. Wow. And welcome to Hey, Did You See This One? The weekly roundtable review reaction discussion where we just have to ask the question, hey, did you see this one? On this show, we take a movie, we pull it apart completely, we leave no stone unturned, and we discuss every single element of it with a fine-toothed comb. It is, of course, episode 215.
This is the first I've heard about this fine-toothed comb that you're talking about.
We're looking for lice in the movie is what's happening.
Oh God, one of those combs, isn't they called like a knit comb or something?
It's a knit. Yeah, we're going through the movie with a knit comb. But it is still John Woo Ueri or whatever we've landed on. It's changed every week. Where we're gonna.
It was Jan Woo Ueri, I think, is what we landed on.
Yeah, Jan Woo Ueri.
Thank God there's only 1 week left.
Right. It is the John Woo Spotlight Month. This week we're talking about The Killer from 1989, and sort of we're going to give a satellite view and opinion of the 2024 remake, which we all did watch.
I just finished it 15 minutes ago.
Fantastic.
I'll tell you all about it during the next 3 hours of this podcast.
But I would like to welcome to the show for the first time. He is one of the hosts of the Salad Years podcast. He's actually worked together with Steven on some Sonar Network projects, including and probably limited to Stanland. I'm not sure if you're working on Randy.
No, definitely just Stanland at this point.
Okay.
I was in there too. Yeah.
Please welcome to the show for the first time and hopefully not the last, Joel Jackson, aka Squid Pod.
Welcome.
Hello.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I am psyched for this. This is quite the movie.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you like? Did you do voices in Stanland or something else?
No. The animated clips.
Okay, cool. You animated me. I was the elf.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was me. Cool. Well, that's fun. Thanks for making me look cool.
No, you look cool, and the voice you gave that elf was just perfect. That's
dripping with ambiguous sexuality. I think.
Oh yeah, and I made his resting face like a pouty face. So like if you watch it again, every time he stops talking, he makes a little.
He does like a Zoolander face.
Yeah. Exactly.
Very good. Very good.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the show. We're gonna have a great time. The show's gone vertical. Thanks, Manja. That's right. You can watch it in vertical and horizontal now. We've joined the future. But at this time, I think it's time to hear from our pal Zardos.
Zardos speaks to you.
Zardos
he demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how, why, who, what occurs in this film.
Spooky. That wasn't planned. Steve, would you like to give us a brief synopsis?
God.
You just watched the remake, so it's right on top of brain.
Yeah, that one is. But they are very similar, but there's some slight differences. A couple of characters have been removed or shuffled about or combined. I feel like they kind of wedged 2 characters from the first version of this movie into 1 character for the remake. But more or less, it's an honor-bound assassin, who is having sort of a crisis of faith in themselves and what they've more or less chosen to do as a profession, which is be a professional assassin. And they're being given jobs that they deem sort of honorable, in the sense that, like, do these people deserve to die? I only really like killing people who have it coming. That's sort of what their honor code is. And during one of his and her jobs in the first movie, it's Chow Yun-fat, and in the second version of the movie, it is, I'm sorry, I've forgotten her name, Nathalie Emmanuel, who is Missandei from Game of Thrones. It's like the main thing that I know her as. Both do pretty good job. I like both of them, but they more or less have the same character. But during a job, they accidentally blind somebody, which really causes that sort of crisis to fracture even more, making them question whether or not they want to continue doing this as a profession. But they're also asked to complete the job, which is to make sure that everybody during that job was killed. And so basically they take it upon themselves to take care of this blind person, in one version literally living with them as like a stay-in boyfriend, in the other version just being like, stay in my weird attic with my fish. And then there's like a heroin deal. Is it heroin in both? I can't remember if it's heroin in the first
I
one
think it's
as well.
guns in the 89 version. It's heroin.
Guns and heroin. They just what interchangeable. It's just sort of like generic gang thing where there's a lot of money. Yeah, where there's a lot of money being exchanged and a lot of deals and backstabbing happening. So all the while, the killer is being assassinated to take these people out, but then also going against most of the characters. And in both versions, there's sort of this whirlwind of guns pointing at each other, and who do you trust, who do you not trust? But in both versions, the cop with the heart of gold and the assassin with the heart of gold become foster a friendship between the two of them, and in both versions they end up in a pretty wild gunfight and or ninja fight in one version in a church, which is sort of not her base of operations or his base of operations, but sort of their place of meditation or balance. They go there when they receive jobs, they go there when they complete jobs, just to sort of clear their head. But yeah, that's more or less, I guess, sort of the rundown for both of those movies.
That tracks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I can't remember if any of it's right or not.
Yeah, like you hit all the major points there, and just for the sake of saying it, like, this podcast is about the 89 version, and the 2024 watching was just to see sort of what the differences are, and fundamentally, like, they feel very different, but those main plot points are in there.
Also, we don't usually do that. It's the only reason we've done it is because both of them were directed by John Woo, which is kind of a rare for remakes. They don't usually get remade by the person who made the first one. I don't know if I know any examples of that happening. I'm sure there are, but
Evil Dead is the only one I can think of.
Right, but yeah. That's even more like we just had more money and we wanted to make the one we did a couple of years ago better, which is like, this is like a full like 40 years later. Like, you know, a movie I could probably make better than I did the first time. One of my classics.
Like Lego sequel territory, where, you know, they take 40 years between the first and second, but it's a full remake.
Characters or actors from the first one in this one, which is, I think, the main thing of a legacy sequel. I was expecting Chow Yun-fat to show up, like maybe as some sort of mentor figure, or like they have this old man who's like a tailor in the movie, and I was like, this seems like they could have got Chow Yun-fat to do this, right? But maybe he didn't want to, or maybe John Woo didn't want to, or maybe they hate each other now. Who knows? I don't know anything.
Yeah, they haven't worked together since, like, I think Bulletproof Monk. That's the last thing I can think of that they did together.
Maybe I don't know. I was going to say something dumb. I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I mean, Bulletproof Monk was a pile of shit, if I remember correctly. I mean, even as a child, I was like, this is bad.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah, there were a few. There was I mean, I would argue all the movies he did, like, in North America, were not great.
Yeah,
but they were. I mean, they're cult classics for sure, but great, not necessarily.
There are people who would call them great, but I don't know.
They're wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if I would agree. I think all of them have great moments, but yes, calling a lot of his Western movies great is a stretch.
Come on, Mission Impossible 2 is awesome. It wasn't. Spoilers for last week's episode. But we should talk about our brief history with the film.
A brief history.
That's right. So basically, normally it's just our brief history with the movie, but since it's a director spotlight month, we'll kind of do our history. Me and Steven have already done our history with John Woo, so we'll skip over that. But Joel, why don't you give us your brief history with this movie and also with John?
Sure. I'll tell you like one little fact I learned about this movie before I talk about my own personal brief history, which is that the producer, if I turn a page, I might be able to find his name. Sorry, dead air. This is great. Sue Hark and John Woo had a big fight over this movie because Hark didn't think that the killer should have, like, the main character should have been a killer. He had this whole issue of like, why is the killer your protagonist? He should be the antagonist. And they got into a big fight over it, and John Woo just did it anyway, the way he wanted to do it. And so that's the brief history that I know. But my own personal history was a girlfriend of mine in the 90s was obsessed with John Woo movies, and she grew up in Hong Kong, so this was like her comfort food kind of.
Right.
And so she showed me all of them, and like I fell in love with them too. And we went on a trip to Las Vegas and had bought some very realistic toy guns that I thought, this would be cool. Let's take like a ton of like John Woo style photos in Vegas of like me shooting two guns and sliding down banisters and stuff like that. And then we crossed the Canadian border in a car because we lived in Alberta, so driving to Vegas was an option.
Right.
We crossed the border in a car and were stopped for many hours and interrogated by Border Patrol. And oddly enough, they let us go through, and it was all fine. But I thought for sure I was going to like get Mo or something.
That's why you got to dump your toy guns at the border before you cross.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like bring a burner, dump your toy guns. It's common
There's just
sense.
There's just a pile of weed and airsoft guns right outside on the Canadian side.
Yeah,
Being like,
exactly.
oh shit, we forgot to dump all our zigzag rolling papers. Yeah, they don't care for that going over into the States. Even though once you get there, you can just go to Walmart and buy a gun.
Buy a real one. Yeah, I know, it's really funny. I'm sorry, I was going to smuggle these toy guns in.
Yeah.
It caught me.
Yeah. Cool. How about you, Steve?
I don't really have. I have seen this movie before. Not the remake, but the original. It was during my Hong Kong action film era in my teen years, which went hand in hand with my horror obsession. It was more just like consume as much film as you can that you have zero experience with, and John Woo was part of it, but I haven't gone back to a lot of them, and this is one of them. So I'm glad we did. It's fun. It's good. I love Squibs. He's the king of Squibs. He's the Hong Kong equivalent of
good.
Paul Verhoeven, and Verhoeven is the Dutch equivalent of John Woo. They're my two favorite Squib masters. They know what they're doing, and they know how to make anybody getting shot look interesting, no matter how uninteresting the scene is. It's made more interesting by people exploding in multiple spots all over their torso.
I know this is probably not the right spot to talk about this, but speaking of Squibs, the was it the mayor? I forget who the guy was he assassinated from the boat. That guy's squib catches on fire. You can see it smoking. That actor definitely got a burn.
There's another part where that happens too, and I think it's in like the first opening sequence where he's killing all the people in like the gambling area or whatever, he shoots a guy like point blank, and you can see like this like like you can see like the firework going off beneath his jacket.
I caught one too that was like after the gun fight was done, a squib just goes off.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. That was a slow moving bullet. Yeah, I like Hard Boiled, and I think this is. No, yeah, I was gonna say I'm trying to remember like if I watched them in sort of any sequential order or anything, but I think I just watched whatever one caught my eye or which one I thought was interesting based on the description of it. But I don't have a strong memory of this one as I do with Hard Boiled, or if I do with some of his other movies. Most of his Western movies I saw naturally without knowing they were John Woo movies, and I'm excited to go back to them. Like, I don't think I knew fully that John Woo made Mission Impossible 2 until like well into my 20s or 30s. I'm like, oh, this is a John Woo movie. No wonder there's parts where people are appearing in reflections and sunglasses and stuff, and it's sort of comic booky. But yeah, he has a very particular sort of sense of cinematography that you can tell even from this point moving forward, that like he loves the camera. He loves to make that camera move and do a lot of the work for us. But that was one of the main takeaways when I watched it the first time. But other than that, yeah, I don't have like a very predominant memory of watching this for the first time. Other than I'm like, I think these two guys are in love with each other, which as a teen, I was like, cool.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much my thesis for this entire movie, is that they're in love. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's basically I watched it this week, and I would agree with that. This one, out of all the movies we've done so far, reminds me the most of Hard Boiled, but like roles reversed. Instead of tequila, instead of Chow Yun-fat, it's tequila being like, the character going after the guy who's got a gray sort of background when it comes to crime. He's the villain, and this Danny Lee guy is kind of going for him. But since this takes place in 1989, I really felt like it really reminded me of what I remember the 80s to be like, and what 80s cinema sort of is like when you go back and watch. It's got everything: saxophone, soft colors, doves,
shoulder pads,
rolled up sleeves. You have your sleeves rolled up, Joel?
No, but I will.
Yeah. Mine's short this week because I literally I watched it, I enjoyed it, and then for the remake, I just sat and watched it. I didn't like take notes for it, but it was similar enough that it sort of just went into my brain easy, because a lot of the main plot points are similar, but then there's some differences that are really interesting. And then it feels like a real streamer movie, but it had some interesting stuff, which we'll touch on a little bit as we go through the 1989 version.
I will say, though, I kind of feel like the remake fixes a lot of the problems I had with the original.
Me too.
So yeah.
Like, making the female characters people and not just like I'm blind, I'm so stupid because I can't see.
Yeah, there were points where I'm like, why is she even here? Like there was very.
They're also playing real fast and loose on how much she can see. Like, there's like parts where she can see some stuff, other parts where she can't see shit. And you're like, what is happening with this blindness?
She's losing her vision because her corneas are messed up. But in the remake, she just hits her head and she's blind for a little while because of it. And does she hit her head again at the end and she gets her vision back, or does it just come?
It just comes back. Yeah, that would be funny.
That would be funny, but no, it's because her brain is swollen and it's pushing up against her corneas, and she's like, I don't know until the swelling goes down. I won't know if my eyesight returns. And then I guess by the end of the movie, because she has so many bullet holes in her, the swelling goes down.
Yeah.
It's medieval medicine where you just have to drain the humors.
She gets conked by that fucking incense when they're whipping around the incense thing or whatever. Hits her in the back of the head. And she's like, I can see, it's a miracle. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus Lord.
It's a callback to the pre-show, which I never reference. Do you want to go into some production talk?
No.
All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit. Sound. Speed. Action!
So I didn't pull the numbers for the 2024 remake, but it was on Peacock, so those numbers aren't usually readily available. As far as budget and stuff.
It made $318 million on its $30 million budget, so that's pretty good.
Not bad.
The Killer made what? How? What?
I don't know, but it did.
That's wild.
Oh wait, sorry, $300,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say 300,000 people watched it.
Yeah, it made no money. Oh well, sorry, Killer.
We're doing our part.
Yeah.
Mentioning it in the same breath as the 1989 version, but the budget was roughly about $2 million for the 89 version and made about 4.5 million. So sequel? No.
And then its international budget was 18.3 mil. So
right.
But yeah,
my
John Woo's not like a sequel man. He doesn't make sequels very often.
Unless it's a video game. He makes
Or
Stranglehold.
unless it's a sequel to something else that was made by someone else.
That was a bad game, by the way.
I like that game.
Glad you did.
I remember being like, look at all the doves. Cool. Just like the movies.
A funny fact about this movie that I have here is the action scenes, they used real firearms with blanks to the point that there was a shootout that was going on and locals thought there was a real robbery happening. So it was pretty good action.
All movies use real firearms with blanks. That's what they are.
Somebody went and counted the bullets fired in this movie, and it was like roughly about 60,000 bullets.
That's crazy. I remember we were trying to dig up the numbers for how many squibs went off in Hard Boiled because it was just absolutely insane. But this movie has a lot too. This movie definitely has a lot too.
If I had more time, I would have counted them. But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
But here's another little fact: is there's like 120 bodies actually drop in this movie, but he only reloads less than 10 times.
Oh, well, you know.
Or anybody. Like
movie magic, guys.
Movie magic.
Yeah, I mean that end fight alone is crazy. That's one of the things that's sort of disappointing about the remake is that like there's no logic it's just like an endless amount of people coming in through the doors and windows in the original that you're like where? How many cars do they drive up in? You just have a bus, like 3 buses, a Greyhound.
The thing I was thinking is like, where did they buy that many white tracksuits? Because it was so like so many.
Well, that was something that was really great about the 80s version is like that whole end sequence, everybody's wearing white, but also before that, there's a part where they're in like an apartment and everybody that's coming in is wearing white, and also the walls are white, and the blood is just so prominent, and I really appreciated that. But the compare and contrast to the final 20 minutes of both movies, that's where I thought that he actually went and looked at what his old movie did and did it like better. In my opinion. You disagree with that? That's fair. But I like the
original better.
I liked certain elements of it. They run out of bullets. His gun gets locked, and he uses it as like a baseball bat. I thought that was like interesting.
Yeah,
you know, it wasn't just like endless. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that like when you have an army of guys in white tracksuits just coming in and getting exploded into a cloud of pink mist and squib bullet holes, I'm like, you can't top this to me. It's not happening. No matter how many Matrix moves you pull off, I don't care. No squibs, no deal. This one wins.
There aren't a lot of action sides.
They're both
like,
cool.
Like I would say structurally, the remake is better. Like from a story point, from the like character point of view, the way they rework the characters, rework the script, it flows a lot nicer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
they're more logical. Like a lot of the stuff isn't sort of like whimsy and daydreaming. Like a lot of the stuff in the original is people like looking off and having a thought, and just like everybody seems aloof and not realistic, whereas this is like trying to use those moments of aloofness to fill in character through flashbacks or whatever, like people telling stories of what happened.
There's
Sorry.
also like every bit of setup gets paid off. And that's the part I like. I mean, the original was like that too, but they didn't set that much up.
Mhm.
But the remake is like, it's tight. If the script and the structure of the new one had like the 80s cast, I think we'd all think it was a perfect movie.
I agree. I think that you're right, because I was wondering like what people's issue was with this new one, because like at the end of it, if you watch both of them in one week, as we all did, you can see that they are pretty much the exact same movie with a couple of things shuffled around to expand upon stuff that felt empty or void from the original. So the things that feel like they're missing from that are they're stretched out, and they take their time with them in this. And I think that all the characters are better. They're more well-rounded and feel more like actual characters than in the original, where it's like, we got to get to the next squib scene. How many squibs are on the way? All right, are they set up? Okay, we're ready to go.
Yeah, it was basically like, how much story can we sandwich between action pieces? Like
Yeah.
that's the first movie.
For sure.
Yeah,
I can see
Jeff was not a prostitute who was saved by a
No.
pimp and had to become a killer.
No, but we
Jeff
don't really
is
know
just a
anything
killer.
about him. He's just
Yeah,
a guy.
he's-
Yeah. I mean, I think we're meant to not know and fill in that ourselves. And also there's sort of like the idea of like anybody can see themselves being in this role, or any sort of like man, I guess, can see themselves being in this position. Whereas the other role is a little bit more nuanced, but also it's like sort of a story of abuse, which a lot of people can insert themselves into as well. And aspire to, and be like, everybody's thought about taking revenge on somebody who was, particularly disgusting to them in their lives. That's what this is. It's like almost a revenge fantasy in a way, where it's like, hey, you know what? You were a piece of shit. Take it up with God. I'm gonna shoot you in the head.
I think that if I had watched these movies in the other direction, hearing you guys talk about it, especially, and how much you guys liked, I think I was burnt out on the story, and I didn't really care about the things that were added to or subtracted from the remake. So I'm wondering if I'd watch it if I watched the remake first, if I would have these same problems about the original. But I really liked that old school 80s version of a John Woo, which we haven't done yet. Even Hard Boiled feels like more modern comparatively, and the story is a banger that I really enjoyed. So, and it's not, Hard Boiled goes like way more over the top. Like this one feels more reined in a lot of it, except for like, of course, when he's just gunning down and mowing down hundreds of guys all in a row. But there were a lot of I saw a lot of the hospital sequence from Hard Boiled in this movie. I can obviously see that he likes to shoot windows out and have people with 300% HP.
Yeah. Yeah.
He likes to do.
Yeah, the main villain guy just keeps getting more and more battle damage throughout the movie.
I was like, he's dead now, right? Like, no, he's still alive.
He somehow survived an entire like bag of shotgun shells going off underneath his torso. We're like, oh nope, still alive.
Yeah, Mr. Wong, or Mr. Wing in the dub for some reason.
Yeah.
The dub is weird. They're always weird though, because it's like they never just take the name of the character. They always like take the translation or whatever. Even in like the remake, it's like her name is Jenny, but like when you're watching it, it's like that's not how they're saying it. Why don't they just say it how they say it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's easier for dum-dums from the West.
We don't get it. We don't understand.
We can. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say we'll probably move on to the body of the episode, but if you have something that pertains to the production of it all,
I feel like we will talk about it all no matter what happens. So let's move on. Sure.
Ho, 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 ho! Everybody back up, because here comes the body of the episode.
that's right. We've made it. We're going to break down the 1989 version with excruciating detail, and anytime we want to compare and contrast, of course, that is fair Squib Game, as Michael Monchiardi put it. Get it?
Ah,
Funny.
The original Squid Game.
The original Squib Game. The movie opens up with a credit sequence that shows Hong Kong, a church. Jeff, as we find out his name later in the movie, sits in silence. A man with a briefcase enters. We see doves immediately in this movie, which is hilarious. He hands him the briefcase. When he opened the briefcase, was that a picture of John Woo or
no, that's whatever that guy he was supposed to kill the first boss. That's that actor's headshot. Is essentially what that was.
It's his target. He's giving him the information he needs as a hitman.
And he gives him the gun.
It would be funny if it was a picture of John Woo though, and they just said John, because John Woo has been in a couple of his movies. Like, why not just fill yourself up full of squids and be the first villain who gets killed? I'd do it.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
I'd have an eye patch and I'd be like, kill his ass, then get squibbed to death.
I wonder if he was that guy. Maybe not.
Squib Pod, the new podcast we're launching. The three of us.
Squib Pod? I love it.
That's actually the name of this podcast now. Squib Pod.
Squib Pod. Love it.
Music kicks in. We start to see Jenny. It's very 80s. Also, her singing in that, I don't know if you guys would play the Yakuza games, but her singing in there and then Chow Yun-fat walking through in like slow motion reminds me of the karaoke sequences from Yakuza games because they're always so like crazy epic. And that's what this
I did
opening
think she
reminds
was
me
doing
of.
karaoke when I first saw her, but that might be just like sort of like deep-seated racism in my brain.
Like a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I've played the Yakuza games, and a lot of they're definitely inspired by
I know,
John
but
Woo,
there's
even
also
though
just
it's
sort of
Japanese.
stereotype that like certain Asian cultures are very into karaoke. So like when I saw it, and just the way it's lit and how close she is to the bar and like everything about it, I thought I could see a karaoke machine in the background.
Exactly.
I was expecting it to pan out and there would be a TV with like the lyrics coming up for her.
I toured a few places. Like I went to Hong Kong in the 90s and I toured a few of the little bars that this movie was shot in, or at least I was told that. I don't know if it was good.
Tourist traps. Yeah.
But they're all tiny. They're all like really, really tiny. So it's no surprise to me that it feels the way it feels.
Right.
It's just like a tiny room, and John Woo did like everything he could to make it feel bigger than it is. That's also why, like, when they're first, before we get there, My Western Ears, that song she's singing sounds horrible.
Right.
Like I was just like, this is the worst music. I would never listen to this ever. But
to be fair, I felt that way about the one in the remake too. I was like, ugh, boring.
Also true.
A boring song.
It was actually worse in a way because the Jenny in the remake couldn't sing very well.
Yeah, and it was like generic, like almost like pop, kind of slow pop in the remake. Which I guess that's what this is.
Which is also what happened in that one scene when that squib went off late. We call that a slow pop.
But 89 Jenny is a better singer.
Yes.
And, but just singing terrible music. Just awful. Just the worst.
Then we're introduced to a big, like just a giant action shootout, has all the stuff, action slides, people with 300% HP, stylized action. And Jenny witnesses it. When I was watching it, I thought he blew her ear off. I didn't realize what was happening until a little bit later.
I mean, what happened is like, what happened? Like, I still don't really know what happened.
Close to the muzzle flare and it blinded her. But for the rest of the movie, she has like a mark next to her eye to show that. I don't know. Did the bullet go through her eyes?
No. It was the muzzle flash essentially burnt her corneas out.
Right.
Is the idea. But there's one thing that, like, at the very first shootout, how he just goes ass backwards into that guy while shooting guys behind him was just that was a nice move that I've never seen since in anything.
Also just sort of like the staples of gun kata, I guess is what I'll call it, where like he runs out of ammo, and then the guy pops up and he sees a gun on the table and he kicks the table and like snatches the gun out of the air and takes the guy out. I think that's where like the burning squib happens. Like,
right. Yeah, the kicking the table kind of move where, you know, he kicks the table. Other movies have done that many times since. I feel like this is the first one.
I can't think of one that predates it, but maybe there is. But even the remake did that same move as well. They just did it in a crazier way. But also, she didn't catch it as impressively as Chow Yun-fat does, because he just snatches it out of the air one-handed and then immediately clips the guy. She does like a cartwheel into the table to kick it, but she like grabs it clumsily with two hands and then uses it. And I was like, Chow Yun-fat caught it better, but she maybe kicked the table better. Like, I don't know. It's kind of a draw here on who did it best. I do think that like a cold stomp though is also pretty cool, because he doesn't feel like he's doing any kind of flighty or like light sort of kung fu moves while he's doing his gunplay. He almost feels more like a bruiser, right? Like more akin to real. Yeah, how the detective in the remake feels. He almost kind of embodies that same sort of physicality, because Chow Yun-fat's like a big guy, you know, like he's usually the biggest in the movies that he's in.
It sort of reminds me of like the Casino Royale when they rebooted Daniel Craig as James Bond.
Sure, yeah.
And just what a difference in like how real and brutal that action was.
Mm-hmm.
That is sort of the difference between, you know, the 89 version and the new one, which is like they're both choreographed, but like I don't know, the 89 just feels like grittier. It's like people are getting hurt and you feel like, did that actor actually die during the
he looks like he might have. Yeah.
It definitely feels like the 2024 version had the trappings of a John Woo, but the 89 version like feels more like a John Woo movie because it's all there. I was wondering at one point I was watching the new one and I'm going, did they just bring John Woo in to like throw doves? Because there were some moments where I was like, this doesn't even feel like a John Woo movie.
It's almost like really 40 years apart. Like,
yeah,
it's a long time between now and then, right? So like his filmmaking has changed quite a bit, right? Like, even to Mission Impossible 2 to this.
That's true.
Is
well,
like
you know
he's different.
He's got to have a dove guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I gotta call my dove guy. See how many doves.
But the difference is the doves in the remake and the pigeons felt very kind of natural. But in the 89 version, there was a moment where there were definitely dead birds that were just being thrown with.
I mean, I hate to break it to you guys, but I'm pretty sure the doves in the remake are not real. I think a lot of those were CGI doves. They're moving a little bit too perfectly in frame, you know.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
Jeez, what is real? We're living in the fucking Wizard of Oz over here. But there's a few parts in the original where it looks like somebody just threw a handful of doves into the camera frame, just being like, that one didn't open his wings. I think that one's dead. Yeah.
I'm thinking of those wedding videos where the doves are all dead by the time that they actually release them. That's too dark.
They're not dead. They're just like, if you hold it too tight, it passes out and it like goes into this sort of this rig. And then like they'll go to release it, and the one that the wife is holding will like, and then the one that the man is holding is like a brick. Yeah. I think I killed that dove by accident, sweetheart. It's a curse on your wedding.
But back at the church, there's more doves. They take a bullet out of Jeff, or Jaw, I guess is what he's known as in the Hong Kong version. So Jenny is blinded. She's asked by police to remember Jeff. And I think that's our plot, because it kind of is for a while. This movie goes through a lot of phases, but I thought the whole thing was going to be like slowly she's going to get her vision back and see that the killer is the guy that did the thing to her. But the plot changes a few times. But we get a montage of her singing while he's watching kind of from afar at first. And then I realized that this whole movie is kind of the music video for Hello by Lionel Richie.
Oh, man. You're right.
A little bit. Especially this.
One thing that I noticed in both versions they happen in the same point, but in a different way, because as Chow Yun Fat's getting stitched up by the handler, by Sydney, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Sydney's stitching him up, and then it's a flashback to the shootout. And for some reason, it's the same flashback. Like they're totally unnecessary.
They do that a couple
Just
times.
happened. Yeah. It happened like 5 seconds ago. We just saw this.
We just saw this.
Yeah, we don't need
a reminder. Yeah, and the other thing is like consent issues with 89 Jenny. Like she's being like grabbed and pulled, and like he basically almost like pulls her into that gunfight.
Yeah.
I don't know whether was he planning to use her. Like I couldn't tell, is he using her as a hostage or as like a shield, a human shield, or is he trying to save her? Because it's kind of unclear at the beginning.
My sort of instinct in terms of just his facial reactions and like the fact that he had the gun right in her face at one point and she looked terrified was that like, oh shit, she wasn't supposed to be here, and why is she here? And I probably should kill her, but I'm not going to. And like I thought that he was just like, I'm gonna try and get her out of here. Once I figure out where all the guys are coming from and kill them, then we'll decide what we're gonna do with her. So I think it was like he was trying to not necessarily get her out of there, but try to keep her alive and out of danger. But yeah, I agree. It was a little bit unclear. But I just assumed that it's Chow Yun Fat in a John Woo movie. He's probably going to be a good guy, even though he's just murdering all these people.
I don't know. I'm on the fence about this. I'm leaning towards Human Shield.
Mm-hmm. That's fun and funny.
Fair.
But I think he's a assassin with a heart of gold.
Yeah. He only kills those who deserve it.
Yeah.
He's also kind of creepy after everything happens. I understand that he feels like responsible, but he's stalking her every night at the singing place, to the point that like in this next scene, she's leaving and she's literally like this. Her acting is just her going like this a lot.
Yeah,
like,
it's not great.
I'm blind, and she's leaving, and I don't know where she's just like feeling around, and then these guys come and try to essay her, but he just happened to be there and kind of stops it. And then he basically tells her he wants to be with her and help her, which is also kind of creepy.
Yeah, and even the way that happens sort of happens in a weird way where like I'm not even certain about that. Like he wants to be with her maybe, but like I'm working on this whole subtext that he's actually in love with the cop the entire time, and that the only motivation with Jenny is that he feels guilt about blinding her.
He feels responsible for making sure that she's okay because he's the one that caused her life to be really hard all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Her life was not great before, but now it's infinitely more difficult. So he's like, I gotta take care of her until she's better, or because he also wants to give his fucking corneas to her at the end or something. He's like,
right.
Just
yeah.
And it's really funny too because he takes her back to her home, and there's this really weird sequence where like a cat comes in the window and climbs up to like the top of the curtains, but also the ADR is like somebody clearly going meow, which I laughed out loud at.
Yeah. That was great.
John Woo was like in the studio, the cutting bay, and he's like, shit, we don't have the rights to any cat sound effects. Can anybody in here do a good cat noise?
They're like, no, and he's like, I'll do it myself then.
Meow. Meow. Just pitch it up.
We learn that she can see light and dark, and she can't really make anything out. And
we learned that, but then the movie just doesn't give a shit to actually follow those rules.
Doesn't care after.
Yeah.
And Jeff finds the scarf from that fateful night, and he's like, it's covered in blood.
Did he? I forgot. Did he tell her that, or did she say it's covered in blood?
She says it's covered in blood. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, how would you know you can't see it?
Yeah. Also, it wasn't covered in blood, was it?
Well, it looked like it
had like blood
faded.
stains.
Okay.
Yeah, like it had been washed, but you couldn't.
But I mean, someone probably told her, right? Like, are you sure you want to keep this? It's probably, it's got blood all over it. And she's like, I have to keep it as a memory of that night that I got blinded.
19 guys died to make that bloody? Do you really
Mhm.
want to keep it?
That's 19 different people's blood mixed into that
Yeah.
scarf.
Jenny, let it go. Let it
No.
go. It's beginning
No, I
to
can't.
smell. It
It's
smells,
got-
Jenny.
It's got my eye blood on it.
Maybe they can put
man.
it back in and I can see again.
That's how that works. And then she just starts feeling around for her blood.
She's knocking over vases, like like comically, just horrifyingly slapstick blindness.
A Leslie Nielsen remake or parody of this would be the tops.
Offensive.
Oh man.
Top offensive.
Yeah.
There's a montage of her singing, Jeff remembering the night, and then this at first confused me because they keep showing there's a man in a basketball court and he hides some bullets. I think that's at this point that's Sid, right? And the bullets are the the explosive tip bullets that are like brought up and then never really brought up again. But he's always got that like that roll that he puts into his revolver, and then I don't know. It's never really clear to me. And if you guys are just sitting there looking at me, then maybe it wasn't clear to you.
No, it was absolutely not clear. In fact, I even forgot about that scene. It was
Okay.
that's a great example of like setup. Oops,
Just stuff.
forgot.
Yeah. There were parts of this movie where like the subtitles would go and I'd be reading it and then I'd be like, wait, what did what do you mean by that? And then I'd miss like the next two because my brain was trying to like pontificate like what? Oh shit, I missed two more things in dialogue. Oh well, I'm sure I'll figure it out with context, and then there is no context. And you're like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, good luck. Just a giant 2-hour-long music video for the color pink.
We forgot to mention that before he goes to Jenny's apartment, he saves her from some people who I'm assuming are going.
No, I mentioned that.
Oh, you mentioned that? Yeah,
I mentioned that. We talked about it. You were there. I think you.
I was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You were one of the guys.
Oh,
No, it wasn't me. I swear to God.
oh man.
Stop calling our guests assaulters.
Okay, I'll stop.
Oh,
Yeah, allegedly. No, yeah, I assume that it was just like a bunch of disgusting. Because I mean, John Woo has done this a couple times in other movies where it's like, we'll just use this as a point of interest that doesn't really expand upon anything other than making either like a character in the movie evil or showing like that this character is weak. But we don't need to see that character is weak because they're fucking blind. Like we get it.
we got that a while ago.
Yeah, we know. We don't need to have this uncomfortable sequence. But it's not as egregious as the Young Dragons, so I didn't give it too hard of a.
Well, I was going to say, like, I was
failing
going
grade.
to bring up the Young Dragons because that movie I had to focus in on the subtitles so much that I had to rewind a lot, and like I was really tuned in. But with this, there are enough context clues to understand what's going on comparatively. But I did have that same thing where I did have to rewind a bunch to be like, wait, what are they talking about now? This has nothing to do with where my head was.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
I
have.
think
I've
that's
had like
just
no
the-
time. I barely got the remake watched. I didn't have any time, so I'm like, can't. Just gotta push through. I'll figure it out. I believe in myself.
Surely 3 of us can get all of it.
I took extensive notes on the remake, but the original is a lot of just weird comments. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Perfect. So over to the police and the undercover agent who is Danny Lee, his Sydney. They pull up to a deal. It's a gun deal, and he sneaks bullets out of his sleeve from before the explosive tip bullets, I think. And another police officer shows up. It just goes completely sideways. And one of the guys escapes, and Sydney follows him to a streetcar. And there's this great streetcar segment where like he's looking at everybody, but it like you would from here to like 20 feet from here, you'd be able to see a bunch of people just like minding their business and a guy sweating profusely. And
Yeah, but he was sitting he was sitting down in the very back on the other end, and there's a lot of
And-
people on this
and like people who haven't been to Hong Kong don't realize how narrow those streetcars were.
yeah.
Like they were really tiny.
and packed
and packed. I'm sure they've been modernized, but they're like really, really narrow. So it would probably be hard. But like my note here is Danny Lee is the worst undercover cop ever, because he's just like he is not doing a very good job of not getting noticed or keeping like innocent bystanders out of the line of fire or alive.
No.
Well, what happens? The guy that he's after grabs a woman, and she has a fucking massive coronary and dies because of the stress.
Does she die? I thought she was just in shock, but maybe
No, she dies because the next scene is him going back. He's like sitting there with the police commissioner guy, and he's like, "That she died, and it's your fault." It's like, well, I don't
She had
know
a heart
about
attack.
her heart situation. He's like,
I mean, it did look like she was having a heart attack, so I guess I should have paid more attention to the grilling that the police chief was giving out. But this same scene happens in the remake as well,
Yeah.
and I think they're both equally as good. Like they kind of go neck and neck with like the beats and what happens in them, but they also like they're not complete replicas of one another, and they kind of like try to do something interesting based on their setting, right?
Although it's really funny in my notes, what's his name? Say is the undercover cop in the remake.
Yeah.
And I've also written worst undercover cop ever.
Yeah, it's like he yells "stop" or I'll shoot so many times, and then he also, but he is a good shot. I will say he's a much better shot than the guy from the original. He hits the mark every time.
He does, but so many people get injured,
or put in danger. Yeah, he shoots the French guy. I think his name's Coco or whatever. He shoots him.
Yeah,
while he's getting away in his car through the windshield. Causes it to matrix flip, and then he goes to it rolls over top of a motorcyclist, and then
and there's actually like a reaction shot to this guy being injured in the process. I'm like,
yeah,
wow, you usually ignore that in like action movies.
And Coco in the remake, like he had the 300 HP thing, the 300% HP, because they shoot him a bunch of times, and he keeps like getting away.
Yeah,
and John loves a guy getting shot and just. I mean, he's full of heroin.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And bullets are just like mild deterrents. They're not really, they're not lethal.
Oh, somebody's at the door?
Better.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Jason. Just hanging out in the cold, no jacket on, by these dumpsters. And I remembered that you guys are doing episode 215 of the podcast tonight. That's so exciting. It was so good being on last week. I'm excited to come back again soon. But for now, I'll just say that I love you, and I hope that's a good one. Okay, see you later.
I half expected him to crawl into the dumpster after that.
Well,
what was I saying?
I'm gonna do another thing too. Sorry.
That's when they said the name of the movie in the movie.
At 20 minutes and 19 seconds, he does say killer. They never say the killers. He says the killers later in the movie, but it's one of those movies where it's a word. So anyway,
he said the thing.
He said the thing. Coco gets shot in the neck, falls in the river. It's great.
I know you squibbed last summer.
Yeah. So back to the 89 version. What happens after he gets chewed out? Because he gets chewed out by the chief and whatnot, and they're like, "You're off the case, McGarnacle."
We find out about the drug ring in Central America, and basically Sydney, the mission giver, who I think's name is Randy.
Yeah, it's Randy. That's right.
He's like, I'll give you 1.5 mil to take out, I think Johnny Wang or whatever. And he shows him a bunch of guns with explosive tip bullets. There's that whole thing. But he also wants to get this money so he can get Jenny a cornea replacement.
Yeah,
and
no. Sorry, Randy is the cop. He's the cop that gets injured in the undercover sting.
Oh yeah.
Sydney is the handler.
Eagle is the undercover cop.
Yeah, but he's called Randy in the dub for some reason. Little Eagle, yeah. No. There's Eagle and Little Eagle.
God damn, John! Why would you do this to us?
Tiny Wing, which was brought up at some point.
Yeah. little bee, squid head, or shrimp head,
There's Giant D and Little Wing.
Yeah.
What does the IMDb say for these characters? Inspector Lee Ying is Danny Lee. That's Little Wing, I assume. No.
Yeah. Little Eagle is what it says here for Danny Lee's character, Li Ying, and then there's Randy, who is what the heck? Wait, I'm looking for Randy. Okay, his name is something else in the Cantonese version.
I had it down by the end of the movie, but in my early notes, I didn't know any of their names yet, so it's going to be confusing. Anyway, the commissioner,
Randy Chang, Sergeant Randy Chang.
Okay.
Randy.
Chief Inspector tells the police about the Dragon Boat Festival. The mark is on one of the dossiers. The guy shows up to the Dragon Boat Festival. Jeff shows up on a boat with a hilarious mustache.
It's his Silver Fox disguise.
Yeah, he's got some gray in his hair and he's got the gray mustache. And
when he had that mustache, I was like, wait a minute. Is Chow Yun-fat hot? It's like, wait a minute. Is he hot? He's hot. And then for the rest of the movie, I was like, Chow Yun-fat is hot. Like the whole time. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I've never felt that way before about Chow Yun-fat.
And now you do.
well,
But no, he's looking good in this movie, and I think I'll probably have a look at him with a whole new lens from now until the end of time.
Just
we-
yeah, the sort of like he does like a real handsome guy thing.
he's real cocky in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I swear he invented George Clooney.
Yeah. George Clooney saw this and was like, that's what I'm going to go for.
I'm doing that. That's
I'm
it.
doing that for the rest of my career.
I'm going to do that as Batman and on ER. But yeah, he gets ready to take the shot as the drum line goes crazy, takes out some other guys, and the men are there looking for someone.
What I didn't fully get was him wrapping the bandana around his hand, where I'm like, is this a thing assassins do? Why is he doing this? Is it to like cushion?
I think it's for the recoil.
Right.
Okay. I was going to say for the heat, but the recoil makes more sense.
But the hand he's using is the one that's supporting it, not the one that's on the. You think it would be the one that would like hit the palm, right?
I don't know, but I think if the recoil, it's so he can like do another shot really quickly if he needs to.
Oh, okay. At first, I was like, is it so that like gunpowder residue doesn't go on his hand or something? Is he trying to stop it from? Because it's like one of those guns that has the sort of the vented muzzle near the end. So I was like, I was just trying to figure out what it was, because its purpose later is to plug up the wound on the child. Like that's
Right.
I mean, that's what it's really there for.
yeah.
I thought it was for the heat, or like the closer to what you're saying, Steve, like to like it burns his hand. So
Just in
There's the
case he needs
muscles
to take a
open.
bunch of shots instead of just one, maybe.
yeah.
Well, anyway, it's cool. I like it. It's like gives you that moment of slow-mo where he's doing something interesting for us to be like, what's he doing? What's he doing? Oh, he's gonna shoot somebody. He's got his cool Ray-Bans on and his gray suit.
Yeah.
And we get a cool moment of like Eagle, the undercover cop, like spotting him while he's taking the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a boat race happening at the same time. There's like a kind of a cool parallel going on.
He's also shooting like while they're hitting the drums to like
Yeah.
mask the sound, which is always a cool thing in any movie that successfully pulls it off and has it translate to the screen and your brain that's what it's doing.
Mhm.
When that guy takes the bullet dead center to his forehead, that actor just played it perfectly. It's just like
Oh yeah.
he just went numb. That was
crumpled.
another one of those moments where I'm like, did they shoot a guy for real?
It is a good
Just like
forehead
a
squib.
snuff film.
Yeah. And then when it cuts to him again when he's like lying on the ground, he's just like got his like tongue out partially, and he's like his eyes are just like staring off into the nothingness. Good
Yeah,
job,
it was
sir.
perfect.
Good corpse at work.
That scene is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That whole little sequence, and even the boat chase as he escapes is it's pretty great.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we have to talk about the suit that the inspector's wearing the entire time, looking like somebody out of a fucking F. Scott Fitzgerald book. Looks like a Great Gatsby costume. I'm digging it. Those stripes are good.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
I think late 80s was doing a little bit of a rehash on that sort of like
Mm.
20s look.
Yeah, just pastels and fancy garb for the everyman. Like a detective would come to work wearing a powdered colored suit, and it would be no one would bat an eye at it. This guy dressed as like the Great Gatsby, and everyone's like, yeah, he's the inspector. How do you
Yeah.
expect him to dress?
It's called fashion. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
They didn't really. The 80s didn't have the 80s to be inspired by like the way that fashion is now. Like we're going into the 90s again, fashion wise. I guess back then you're looking at the 30s is the big fashion moment.
there's a little hint of Miami Vice in that
Oh,
whole
yeah.
look too.
Yeah, like the suits, like the full sports suit without like a collared shirt or tie underneath, just sort of like a regular crew neck or something, or
Yeah,
a
exactly.
t-shirt underneath. Yeah, very very Vice City. I was getting a lot of Vice City
Yeah.
vibes this whole time, being like, I like this. I also was digging the music. Like I like that sort of synthy pop action score that this movie has, and Hardboiled had it as well. But even the remake, like you could feel it. They took a lot of the inspiration from the original score from this into the remake, and they took that whistling song that plays a few times throughout this movie, and they integrated that into the full score of the movie for the remake, which I thought was fun. A lot of
Yeah.
saxophone shows up too.
The
You're like, "Oh."
score in the final 25 minutes in the church shootout in the remake was some of the best score work I've heard. It was so like
Well, I don't know if we would take it that far, but okay.
I'm in
In the history of cinema,
It was the most competent of the John Woo
Well,
movies.
I'm hyperbolizing, obviously, but like I really enjoyed it. It felt like it made that sequence feel big, and I think this movie has it too. I really enjoy the last half hour of this movie, but I like that.
I'm also
Woo-
comparing it to like last week when we did Mission Impossible, where the music was like doing way too much. Where you're like, holy shit, this is what people satirized after a time. Like this movie
True.
was doing it earnestly, and like things like Tropic Thunder like took this and used it as like a gag, right? Because it's like this is a whole Gregorian chorus over top of Ethan Hunt jumping out of an Australian skyscraper. or
True.
whatever.
You know what we glazed over is before this job, when Sydney's giving him the assignment, he's playing the fucking harmonica.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about his.
And you think it's
his-
part of the score until he
love for
opens
the
the door
harmonica.
and he's got the harmonica in his mouth, and you're like, he was playing
He
that.
was playing that?
Yeah.
That sounds way too studio quality.
Well,
He's
that's what he
got, like,
does. That's his
chords
secret
stuck in the
ability.
It's like an electric harmonica that you fucking hook up to your computer.
Man. Yeah, that was a bold choice. That was a bold choice.
That's one of his little idiosyncrasies. He just loves
Oh
to
my
play
God.
the harmonica when he's sad.
Yeah,
I made
he's,
myself laugh too hard.
he's a harmonica guy.
I'm just picturing like like an electric guitar. You plug it in, you just plug
Yeah.
it into your harmonica. And you're like,
I
so many
think, in MacGruber-
harmonica related electricities in the 1980s.
He's
I
got
think
pedals.
in MacGruber there's a thing where he that's a parody of like thrillers and spy movies, and obviously MacGyver. I think he just plays the saxophone when he's sad in that.
Right.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I think that might be lampooning this kind of.
Well, it's
idea.
when we watched Well, I don't know if it's because that's just like a trope, right? Like that's saxophone music for hard-boiled cop movies and the 80s and stuff. That's just a thing. But the detective playing an instrument is also a thing. And we did Hard-Boiled a couple of months ago, and like John Woo put Detective Tequila playing clarinet. Like, I don't think I've ever seen somebody play clarinet where it's meant to be cool, right? Where you're like a cool
police
detective
band.
and you go down and play like charming a snake or some shit in the basement. But like, my theory on that was like, he must just know how to play the clarinet, right? Like that's what it must be, is that Chow Yun-fat just knows how to play the clarinet. So they're like, can you play these other instruments? He's like, no, but I'm really good at the clarinet. They're like, all right, I guess that's what Tequila plays.
And the harmonica, I guess.
Could you imagine if he played the tuba or something? Like, it's like
Boom,
in
boom,
the basement
boom,
of the
boom.
cop bar.
I'm so sad. Boom, boom.
I don't think
Yeah.
I do not think he was playing this harmonica. Yeah, this was definitely air harmonica for sure.
Yeah, that was like, we need this guy to be like playing the blues or something because it just makes sense. His partner just got fucked up or whatever.
Also, he's a total dick to Sydney. Like he's like Sydney's got an injured hand. It's like you can see it's got a scar. He could barely use it, and he's handing him, like a beer with the wrong hand and like dropping it and like, and I'm like, wow.
Right. And his whole thing is that like my hand is dead and I'll never be able to use it again until a pivotal moment later.
Until the final scene where I go crazy and have a ghost takes over my body or whatever the fuck the explanation was.
This is why I was confused too. The police officer that the killer likes that's friends with in the remake, his name is Sid, and that's what the remake does. It takes like Jenny's name is Jen. It's like they shortened all the names.
Her name's Jenny, but she likes to be called Jen.
Yeah.
His name is Say. It's SEY in the remake, which is close enough to Sydney.
Yeah. Oh, well, my brain was just filling in stuff. As far as this movie goes,
your brain was just making shit up, is what you
my
mean.
brain was just as usual. Jeff makes it away, and he makes it to a beach, and there's now a sniper on him. Luckily, a little girl tips him off, and he ducks and takes the rest of the goons out. There's explosions, and the police see the fight from the shore. The little girl gets hit, which is insane. I've never, I have seen kids get shot in movies, but this was pretty crazy. Jeff manages to rescue her. And I wrote, is the guy in the car the quest giver? I think it was. I think Sid's there, right?
Yes. No, wait.
Yeah. Anyway, everything goes to shit here, and there's like the car chase bit.
Yeah, no, he definitely willingly puts that kid in danger. He just happens to, because he takes off his cool Ray-Bans, and then he's like seeing the reflection of the sniper lens off in the bushes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Too bad, little girl. I gotta go."
But then he saves her.
The whole thing is Jeff trying to get the girl to safety, and he gets her to the hospital, but the cops are on to his plan. And then the cops show up, and there's this cool standoff where he rushes her into like surgery or the ER, and they're working on her. And Eagle and Jeff like have their guns on each other while the little girl's getting worked on, which is it was a wild visual to see. And the context of it is crazy too, because it's like people fully have guns brandished. I don't think the doctors really realize what's happening. They're just trying.
Well, they do. They order them to continue working, and the doctors are saying,
"Oh, right, yeah.
Keep working. Don't worry about the two men with the guns behind us. We have to save this little girl's life."
Yeah, she is saved, and Jeff leaves.
Despite the fact that he stuffed a dirty rag in her wound,
It's covered in fucking bullet residue, gunpowder residue, and sweat, tequila sweat.
Yeah. Somehow she's saved.
Yeah. He wipes his like Budweiser soaked hands in that fucking that bandana too.
And
as you're saying that, I was wiping beer off my mustache, and I was like, "Oh no, that's probably what he did earlier."
And then, like, to escape, he just like pushes the one cop super hard into the other one. And I'm like looking at that room, and it feels like they're sprinting towards each other. Like it feels like a long ways, but it kind of works in the scene, but that distance just seemed really far.
Yeah, it was a large room. Eagle gets dressed down by the police commissioner lieutenant, and he gets a picture drawn up of the killer. Did you notice that, like, at one point they show that they've drawn 100 pictures of Jeff,
Yeah.
and they're all around the room for some reason?
I have a theory.
I got
This might be the most romantic movie ever made. Because there's Danny Lee just fucking in love with Chow Yun Fat. Just
Yeah.
looking at his picture, just his, and he's like Danny
Stroking his one long hair on his face. Did you guys notice that one long hair?
But Danny Lee's got this like sort
they
of
blur it out at one point towards the end.
Because it's distracting.
Yeah.
he's got this like resting smirk face. but because of that, every scene where he's looking like he's trying to be a profiler and he's trying to get into Chow Yun Fat's mind just reads as I'm so in love with you.
Yeah, I want to kiss him so
I
bad.
want to make out with him so bad. And the fact that there's like 57 drawings of him.
It's crazy. Why so many? Why so many?
My question
We need
was,
one photo, please.
Yeah.
did he draw them? Did he just
He just
sit
kept
there and
doing it.
lovingly draw
Like,
every
no,
single one of these? Like,
no,
oh,
I didn't get
No,
this.
no.
Now I have to do one with that mustache, that fake
Oh.
mustache.
no, his smooth eyebrows were like this.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
it
He's
kind of
so-
like as the movie goes on, it's like Chow Yun Fat's eyebrows versus Danny Lee's smirk. Like
Okay.
those,
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
two facial features are just signaling we're deeply in love. The entire-
eyebrows and the smirk. That's what
Exactly.
that's the team up movie.
That's the sequel that needs to be
Yeah, he
made.
made a sequel.
Eyebrows and the smirk.
We mentioned earlier how they like show old scenes from the movie in this movie, but at this point Jeff is like just reliving the horrible moment the kid got shot, and he gives a call to Sydney, and Jeff wants his money.
Yeah.
So Mr. Wing, I think Johnny Wing is the guy trying to kill Jeff.
Yeah, it's Johnny Wing or God, something
Joe-
wrong, depending on how you look at it. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
it's-
go with Johnny Wing, Mr. Wing.
And I think that this is where we find out that Sydney is in cahoots with like the guy trying to take Jeff out. There's kind of a little bit of a twist. Yeah, and I also made a mention that Eagle has a million pictures of Jeff drawn out, and then you guys, we covered it with they're in love.
I pulled up the sequel. I just pulled up the movie, and it isn't him, but he is talking lovingly out a rainy window about him. He's like, he's very calm, intelligent. His eyes are very alert,
Yeah, this is what I
full of empathy. Hold on, full of emotions. And then the freeze frames on his face, and in the background, the guy is doing the fucking sketch.
But
That's how he's describing him to the sketch artist.
but then yeah, that's the point where it's clear that they're in love. But then it does a hard cut to Chow Yun Fat, and he's covered in sweat for some
Sweaty,
reason.
yeah, because he's thinking about the girl dying or whatever, but really he's thinking about the smirk. He's thinking
He's
about
thinking
that
about the
smirk.
smirk.
Yeah.
Oh, that smirk.
Oh, I love that goddamn smirk.
They're truly star-crossed lovers.
I agree. That I was thinking about the whole time too. I was like, every time that they're staring at each other in those like silent moments, it's like it's romantic and it's shot romantically. there's a lot of tension, but it like comes off as sexual tension and not like the tension that I think was intended.
I had like a similar theory for like for Hardboiled, because the undercover guy and Tequila seemed like they had like, but it was more of a bromance. This is like these guys.
No way for Hardboiled did I feel even a fraction of how I feel
Yeah.
like about this movie. Hardboiled, you could tell that they were both like, one of them was like sort of aloof in his relationships and obsessed with his job, and the other one was an empty soul who was lost in life, and there was nothing about that relationship between them that made it seem like they needed to be romantically together to solve that. Whereas this movie seems like these guys need to get married and move
They
to
do.
together.
They need to be happy.
Yeah.
Why won't anyone let them be happy?
Yeah, this is the true heated rivalry of
Yeah. Couldn't have come at a better time. We always seem to touch on the cultural zeitgeist on this show accidentally. And my notes catch up to this because his coworker tells Eagle's coworker tells him about the singer Jenny. Eagle noticed that he isn't so callous and that Jenny was a complete accident. So Eagle goes to visit her. And so I thought, so this is into your theory, Joel, like I thought it was gonna be a love triangle thing, but it totally is not.
No.
It turns out that he's just like checking up on her.
Oh, I'm looking at him looking at the pictures right now with his arms behind his back and his little smirk, and he's like,
Right?
zooming in on Chow Yun Fat's eyebrows. Oh my god, it's so horny.
But that scene where Danny Lee goes to visit Jenny and he's checking her out, and then like Chow's like just in the background, he's just like there, and then somebody passes by and he's gone. I'm like somewhat convinced that that's a hallucination that Inspector Lee is having. That like, you know, like when you're so in love, you see them everywhere.
Yeah, everything reminds me of him.
Yeah, exactly.
They do the thing where Eagle gets a glimpse of him, but he disappears. Even
He's like, everything reminds me of him, and he's like, he goes past like a billboard of like Eugene Levy, like but it looks like.
Nice.
There's
Jeff
two
receives-
caterpillars kissing on a branch. It's like, god damn.
Jeff receives a visit from Sydney, and fully puts a gun to his head, questions him about the people trying to kill him. This informant guy can't reveal who might be after him. So the informant gets the drop, though, and the tables turn. And there's no money in the case either. And when he pulls the trigger, the gun is empty. And I was like, how the fuck did he get the bullets out? There's also an assassin here, too. And there's a massive shootout.
Oh yeah, and they fuck up his couch. That
Yeah.
couch. That's like the real tragedy that I got out of this movie, was like that couch was really nice.
It's also the first example of bisexual lighting used in this movie, which also supports your theory. And I think that if we go through this movie, we're going to find it everywhere that we look now. But
Can we back it up one moment?
Sure.
What is
sure.
bisexual lighting?
I can explain it to you if you'd like. Bisexual lighting is when a filmmaker will take a pink or purple light and pair it with a blue or teal light, and similar to our fucking actual
I
the
was
color
just going
scheme
to
of
say,
our
our
show.
whole shit, the
Yeah.
light on either side of your face.
But yeah, which you know, but so it is used often in film to not inadvertently, but subtextually show that a character is not straight or gay or, you know, pan or anything. It's sort of like they can have an ambiguous sexuality, or they can have a sexuality that is undetermined, or a bisexual sort of existence. And that's something that like was prevalent in the 80s, sort of abandoned in the 90s, but used by those in the know, and is now sort of a staple of filmmaking, and is used pretty often.
I mean, the more we look at this movie, the more it feels very gay.
Oh yeah, I agree. It was one of the things that I was a little bit like, oh, so they're gonna, when the remake, I was like, oh, the detective, and now because it's a female assassin, they're gonna fall in love or something. And I'm glad they didn't, because I'm like, oh no,
They
it's
became
like a professional
friends.
friendship, and
But
that's
there
sort of what,
was a touch of flirting, just a touch.
for sure. But there's a fucking whopping heaping of flirting in this one too, right? So I'm like, are they gonna, because now it's not sort of a taboo thing, are they gonna go full and have them fall in love? If they did, it would be almost disrespectful to this, and this weird ambiguous sort of like flirtatious relationship that these two have throughout the movie as well. I half wanted them to get on a boat together and leave at the end, you know, like, oh, go together.
Like, I feel like that would have been the correct ending. Like, even if they left it ambiguous as like, we're just really good friends,
Yeah.
but they need to leave the scene together.
Yeah. Both of them with their eyes still.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to mention the bisexual lighting because when I noticed it, I was already feeling that way, especially when there was a million photos. I was like, why does he have so many pictures? I'm like, he's obsessed with this guy. And I'm like, oh no, he's in love with this guy. That's what's going on. He's so intrigued by him that he wants to have a million pictures, different sketches. He's got that guy. The guy's like icing his wrist, the sketch artist. He's like, do another one. Make him wearing a dress this time. I want to see him in a dress.
Please, I've been at this for hours.
I don't
Can I just
care.
take a break?
Did you do the one in the sailor's costume yet? Excellent.
Put him
Bring
in
into my
Daisy
office.
Dukes.
Don't bug me.
Yeah.
No, that's not the shape of his buttocks at all.
Wrong. I said apple bottom.
The informant gives up the murder man, Johnny Wang, and there's that thing where they always have one bullet left. Now I feel like that's innuendo. I always have one bullet left.
That's what I got out of it too. I was just like, I'm saving this. I'm saving it for you.
Honk, honk. Yeah. I've always got one left in the chamber.
Mhm.
So
That's
Eagle
not a
shows up-
euphemism.
So Eagle shows up and investigates this crime scene. He finds Jenny's album here, and he's sure it was Jeff. So he puts on her album, and
He's like, God, this is terrible.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Made me a man that night. That's not this reference. And Eagle's buddy comes back and says he hit the nail on the head about it being Jeff. Weird parallel shot of a shootout scene from before, which this movie does a lot. There's a lot of that back and forth stuff. And it also keeps showing scenes from earlier in the movie and somebody looking longingly, like, and remembering. And I wrote, he's linked to Jeff mentally or something. We've covered.
No, this is that scene where he's like sitting and smoking and like trying to find out what happened. I was like, okay, straight up, this is like, oh, he's profiling him. But then after my theory, I looked at it as like, he wants to be him. He wants to know how he lives, what he's like,
Wants to
what
be
his cigarettes
inside
taste
him.
like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Staring at those smokes.
I want to be in that, in his soul, in his heart.
Here, this is an example of bisexual lighting for you there, Jason.
All of those people are bisexual, I think. All of those
Okay.
characters.
It doesn't necessarily confirm that they are or they aren't. It's more meant to convey that there's an ambiguity to it. It's not as simple as this guy likes boys or this guy likes girls. It's like,
Who was the woman in the top right?
it's Charlize Theron. I can't remember the movie, but it's a movie where she's like some sort of assassin or something.
Oh yeah, it was kind of like Atomic Blonde or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I don't think I
Yeah.
ever saw that movie actually, to be honest with you.
I think it came out around the same time as the original John Wick, and they were like, "We have this movie," and we're like,
But
"No, we like
also,
John
like-
Wick."
It was a thing that was like in the 80s. It was used a lot, and it became like sort of like film historians and like analytics or analysts would go back and be like, wait a minute, a lot of these ambiguous characters are lit in this particular way, and then actual filmmakers would start to utilize it to be like to use it as a way without saying that they're bisexual or that they have no sexuality. They would use it as a lighting scheme just to be like, man, I'm putting it in there without actually saying anything or addressing it.
I wonder if Nightmare on Elm Street 2 has that in it at all.
I feel like every Nightmare on Elm Street has a bisexual lighting
Every time
scheme
they show
at some point.
Freddy Krueger, he just got blue and pink on either side of his face.
I think if they were to do a proper remake, it would turn on and he'd be like, bisexual lighting. Like he would actually
Look
call
right
it out,
into the
yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
Chucky should. Well, Chucky has that kind of color motif sometimes.
I'm
Maybe
trying to
more on the
like,
show.
yeah. There's been a few thousand movies with that lighting, and it usually is more like like internal conflict is kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily confirm anything, but it's used as a tool to signal to those in the know. But also, like, if somebody wants to say something without saying it, it's a one way to do it, right?
Yeah.
This episode is actually now called Bisexual Lighting.
That would be a good name for a podcast, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do it.
Yeah.
The podcast, I mean.
You've already told me many times you wouldn't, so
yeah.
I feel sad. Eagle's partner throwing garbage into the stairwell was a funny little segment where
Yeah, I like that.
trying to create a distraction from, I think, like the landlord.
The landlady, yeah. But also I looked up what her character name is, and it's just Trash Lady. I'm like, okay, cool.
Eagle trying to encounter Jeff. They have a standoff. Jenny's also there, which is like
It's her
awkward.
apartment, isn't it?
It's kind of
Oh,
an
yeah.
awesome, like, this is probably my favorite scene in the whole movie.
I like it too, yeah.
Yeah, like the fact that so Chow Yun-fat comes back to, I guess, Jenny's house, and because he lives there now for some reason, and
Yeah, as you do.
and he's about to unlock the door, but then he notices something, and it's kind of unclear what he notices. Maybe it's Eagle, but he puts his keys away and kind of fakes that he's turning around and going back out. To the hallway.
I was also like, because when the door opens and he bursts through with a gun already ready to go, I'm like, oh, he knew. But then I was like, but how do you know? And then too much stuff happens immediately after that my brain didn't go into like continue the thought that you had as to how did he know? Like,
So as near as I can tell, and this is like one of those things where this is a place where they forgot to do the setup, but they have the payoff.
I think they paid it off after. So I think what
they paid it off after. Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
what happened was the trash lady is like, somebody paid me $1,000 to come down here and bug you. So I bet you what was meant to be was that he's like, here, take $1,000, go down there. If you see a man down there, stay down there and bug him so that he doesn't come back up. And because she didn't come back up to confirm, that was like his signal for like, oh, she didn't come back, which means there was a person down there waiting. So I might need to.
Or maybe he heard them arguing in the stairwell or whatever it is. He just kind of notices, goes to fake out the door to the stairwell.
Mhm.
And then Lee hears that
The keys jingle or whatever.
and goes to open the door to just kind of look, and
he's
suddenly
already
he
there.
pops
Yeah.
out. And then they've got guns pointed to their head. And then Jenny comes out, is like, who's there?
And he's like, don't worry, Jenny. This is just my friend.
This is just my friend. And I thought this was such a good metaphor for somebody trapped in the closet with a partner who's a beard, so to speak,
Right.
who is literally blinded to the fact that he's in love with another man right in front of them.
That's a pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I agree, because I was feeling the same way. Because this is exactly how you talk about your gay relationships when you're not comfortable enough to tell your parents or people that like this is my friend. Yeah, and then you make up stories that aren't real because you just met this person not that long ago. So you decide to inflate a story that doesn't exist, and you work together on the fly to be able to do those sorts of things. And it's real. It's a real thing.
And right behind her back, they're pointing guns at each other.
In front of her face, even.
Yeah.
Which are supposed to represent their dicks. No, just kidding.
That's where I was going, because I'm not as subtle as
Yeah,
you.
I know.
But then what's kind of like crazy about that is like when you're talking about the improvisation, then they're like, yeah, he's Dumbo, I'm Mickey Mouse. They're like giving each other nicknames, and it's all just like wildly improvised. It's
like, oh, they used to call you Shrimp Head, and he's like, you're dang right they did. It's like, why? And it's like, because I got a small wiener. Or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So
Why'd they call you Little B? Because I also have a small wiener. It's like both their cover story.
And you went to what school together? It was a small wiener school.
Teeny weeny elementary.
We studied small wieners. Anyway, it's a great scene because like I love that sort of like they don't want to alert Jenny to the fact that anything's wrong at all.
And they do a good job because they both care about her, and they both like the cop is smart enough to realize that like, oh, she is ignorant to the situation. He is also cares about her because, you know, he's the one that blinded her and he feels responsibility for her life being in shambles, even though she seems pretty positive about the whole thing. She's like, I'm blind, but I'm having a great time. It's okay. You guys want some tea? I'll make it for you.
The thing is that she can like mostly see, and she has the hope that she can get her corneas switched out with surgery.
Yeah, but also the main issue is that she doesn't have any kind of real character in the movie. She's basically
that's
a prop for
No, her character is this.
Yeah, which is one of the triumphs of the remake is like John Woo over the last 30 years of his life has been like, oh yeah, female characters can be autonomous and interesting and good. Even though like the first movie we did this month, The Young Dragons, has like one or two pretty decent female characters. This is kind of like a backslide.
Rouge was a fucking fantastic.
But they're also
for the era.
But also they're very, very like.
But she's a prostitute.
Yeah, she's like, you know, like, but she's also a hooker. Also, she's the king of the hookers. You're like, okay,
yeah,
all right, John.
I wrote "It's the Gas Man." I don't know what that means. If you guys can remember, I don't know. I wrote in capital letters too, so I don't know why. But from a cinematography standpoint, I really enjoyed the fact that they have like this kind of rooftop chase, but also Randy is like climbing. He keeps climbing in and out of the window.
We got to talk about how cute the scene is, though, because like they're moving around with the guns pointed at each other. They have them right in their faces. They're clasping each other's arms. They're having this revealing conversation with one another. And all the while, she keeps coming and being like, "So, how do you guys know each other?
Want some tea?"
Yeah. And then, like,
she thinks she has two men courting her, by the way, is what I kind of gathered from all of this.
Yeah, and then a third man shows up and he's like, "No, it's the trash lady. She's coming through the window again."
That's the gas man. He's there to check on the gas.
Right. That's the gas man. Okay.
But he says it's the trash lady, and she says, "I don't have any trash." And then, so I think you just read it wrong, or maybe it's a different dub. I don't know. Who knows?
I thought, yeah, I think I remember being annoyed that they didn't just blame, oh, it's just that cat again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that seemed like
they've already set up the cat. Yeah,
exactly. Like pay it off there.
Meow.
Right? Yeah.
But then he's like, they both say like, I have to go to the bathroom. He's like, I have to go to the bathroom, and then
I'll go with you.
And he's like, I do too. And she's like, what the fuck? No, you guys can't piss in the same toilet. Like, I got another bathroom over here. And he's like, God damn it. Whoa, a rat. There's a rat. Let me go take care of the rat for you. And then he runs after him. He's like, it's in the kitchen. I'll see you later. And then she just like is spinning around with 2 cups of coffee in her hand or whatever. Like, what the heck is going on?
And she once again gets like kind of grabbed and shaken and spun around. And like, it's a lot of like, Jenny gets handled a lot, but it's mostly like to get her out of the way.
Yeah. Because this movie again is treating her like a fucking footstool, where it's like you're literally I need to go over there and you're in the way, so move out of the way, please.
Yeah, you're a prop in this fun little homoerotic adventure.
Yeah, I almost was like, oh, she's treated like a mannequin, right? And then when we were watching the remake, I was like, oh, there's a literal mannequin woman. Like there's a part where like an actual woman shows up as a mannequin. And I'm like, I wonder if this was like, if he's had criticism over his career of him treating women like mannequins. And then he's like, what if I just actually have a mannequin?
It's possible. Like, I don't think, I don't think there was any thought to Jenny other than she's blinded. The end.
No, he saw the music video for Hello by Lionel Richie, and he was like, that could be a John Woo movie. I'm John Woo. And then he came up with this idea, and while he was writing it, he was like, wow, these two guys love each other. Like,
yeah. I mean,
And
that
then
was also
he
kind of an
came-
issue with Mission Impossible 2 as well. Is like there's this character who's quite interesting in terms of like she's an international jewel thief. She's essentially like a
they
Catwoman
just-
level villain, or like
Yeah.
person who can infiltrate and steal. And then she just kind of gets tossed to the wayside, and she becomes just like a vessel for a MacGuffin, basically. Like the disease goes into her, and then she's just there.
They set her up at the beginning of that movie like almost like a Rouge, where she has agency, and then through the course of the movie, just parts of her keep disappearing to the point that she is just like damsel in distress. And this character might be worse than a damsel in distress. She's like the fact that you guys keep bringing up the fact that they're just pushing her out of the way so they can point guns at each other.
Yeah.
To have their little.
It's not even a damsel in distress. It's all right, sweet cheeks, shut up, move out of the way.
Some men are talking
Yeah.
about how we won a 69 in a standing position.
It's a damsel in the way. That's all she is.
Right.
But Eagle reveals to Jenny that Jeff is an assassin when she loses her mind. He explains that Jeff made her blind as well. He basically gives everything up to her about the whole plot, the whole situation, and he asks her for help. Eagle wants to protect him.
It doesn't fuck her. Like, she doesn't care, though. She's in love with him.
It's true, but Eagle also says, like, I want to bring him in to protect him so I can have him in a jail cell for 15 minutes all alone. Anyway, we're introduced to at the same time that Johnny Wang has this new assassin.
Oh, the model, the Italian model.
Yeah, the most beautiful fucking assassin of all time just shows up with the most chiseled jaw I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His aviators.
He's got
just
sweet
hot as
he's
hell.
got shades on. He has a shitty end. We'll get to that when we get to it. But
He's got a name. It's like Giuseppe, or hold on.
It is
I did
something
not
close
catch.
to
If
that.
his name is Giuseppe, this is my favorite movie of all.
It is. It's something like that. Yeah,
It's something like that.
Wild. Yeah.
When we get there, it'll be in my notes eventually. But I'm pretty sure it's Giuseppe.
I think you're right.
That's crazy. Sydney tries to convince the villain to pay Jeff. Then he'll bring him in after he's paid. Jeff seems to witness this.
Witness me.
Yeah. And I just made a note that Jeff and Sydney are best friends, but that's also been conveyed through the whole movie. So thanks, past me. Jeff takes out the villain, or so we think. There's some action crashes, and Jeff and Sydney have a car chase shootout. This is that scene where like Johnny gets like shot a bunch, and I was sure he was dead. I remember writing, "Oh, he's dead," and then hitting backspace like, "Nope." And I did that many times while I was writing my notes for this.
Before this part, yeah. Mr. Wing gets shot like a gajillion times.
Yeah, a gajillion.
And then jumps out of a car at a very high speed and just stands up and is fine.
He's good. Yeah,
he's good.
He had 1 HP left. It's enough
man.
to. It's enough to limp away. Yeah, he needs a med pack, but he's okay.
I think then, like later after that scene, once they get away, I think Jeff is asking Sydney for the money or for one last job, right? I think that's where it is. And Sydney calls him too soft for this kind of work. And I'm like, okay, now we're talking about flaccidness.
I was going to say.
He's like, the only way for him to get hard again is
Danny Lee.
Yeah.
There's also that scene where like Jeff and Sydney are there, and he tells them to shoot him. He's like, just put me out of my misery.
Is that when
Jeff breaks down, says they've gone soft, like you just mentioned, and now that's when they team back up.
That's when they move to the cabana by the sea.
Yeah, I think so.
See, here's a question. rolling with this whole gay subtext.
Yeah. Is a cabana gay?
Well, no, do Sydney and Jeff have a relationship?
No,
It's
I
sort of
mean,
like
they
a
might
one
have-
night stand.
Yeah, or they're like, they fooled around.
No, come on, Jason. We don't mean literally like.
No, they fooled around with their emotions.
Oh,
so-
okay.
Yeah.
How do you think he got his hand all fucked up? Fisting, probably.
Fisting and hand job.
They played spin the bottle. They maybe did a little truth or dare.
They played spin the butthole.
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa.
I think that they probably have a much closer relationship for one of them than the other one, or one of them thought they were closer than the other one did, and that's why the distance began to spread to the point that one of them is willing to betray the other.
I feel like it's actually Sydney in this
Yeah.
case. Like I feel Sydney has put himself more on the line for Jeff in this killer world than
And the reason he's able to betray him is because he's like, I've been trying and doing everything I can for you for so long, and you're not reciprocating in the way that I would like.
and all you do is make fun of my gimp hand.
My crappy hand that I can't hold a beer
Yeah.
with or whatever.
Exactly.
The thing is when he drops the beer with one hand, he immediately snatches it with the other. I'm like, the other hand's good, man. Just go to the gun range and practice
it
with the
out.
other hand, dude.
Just like you're dick, Jeff. You're dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the next sequence is the airport. Jenny calls.
No, the neck
with the
sequence is the part in the remake when the guy gets shot right in the neck. Coco. That's the neck sequence.
Yeah, the neck sequence.
Like,
A lot of people
Um,
get shot in necks in that movie, the remake. A lot of neck shots. I wonder if it's just easy to CGI, and also it's, I guess, considered less gruesome than like a full brains out the back of the head or whatever. Is you probably get a lower rating for it.
Something I really liked from the remake was
Even though we all saw someone get shot in the neck for real recently, and we know there's a lot more blood that comes out in these movies.
True. That's true. Something I really like from the remake that probably happens around this point is Ree, I think, is the main character, like Jeff's part. She
Zeke.
goes, she jumps and she grabs the dangling thing. I don't know what to call it.
Oh yeah,
She slides down it, but like later in the movie when
Yeah.
Sai does it, he
Yeah.
fucking slides halfway down, lets go, and then smashes through a table because the whole point is that she's a better assassin. She's a better she's better at all this stuff than he is, and that's really how it hits it home.
He also chirped somebody for not doing it earlier, which is also
Yeah,
funny. He's
just
like,
a
"Why didn't
weird-
you zip down after her?" And the guy's like, "What?" I was hoping that he would do it and it would rip because he's so big, right? I was
True,
like, it
yeah.
would be funny if it ripped, but then it's like he just didn't know how to slowly
just
slow
didn't
his
know, yeah.
descent. He's like, "Oh fuck!"
Well, my what I thought happened was he started sliding down it, and his hands were starting to burn. So that's why
that's what I think. He just kind of let go. Yeah.
But
He's
why
just
was
not as
she
good.
able? Or her whole hands just full calluses. She doesn't even need the
She's
wrap.
just better at it, man.
I also think
Yeah.
she did it differently. Like
She used
'cause
like
I-
her.
I would-
She used like her clothes.
Yeah, she went like
back-
this.
yeah.
yeah.
He
'cause
tried to do that, but
I went back and watched it because I had the same thought. I was just like,
Yeah.
but I do love that there was a very convenient WWE table
table,
Yeah,
yeah, right
just,
at the bottom.
below him.
But he smashes through it and just gets up and keeps running. And I was like, that's some action shit that I just love.
What do you mean? I was going to say, like, you see that happen in the WWE all the time. People
It's
jump
true.
off the top of
Oh,
that
no.
cage and land through a table and just get back up and keep punching.
It's true.
But I
It's
did
the
I did like that scene, and I like how when he does run away, there's a bit of a limp to it. Like it's
Yeah.
you know,
He's injured, yeah.
yeah, he's he doesn't have like 300 HP. He's got 200 HP.
Yeah. And he's down to maybe like 50 at that
Down to
point. He's like,
50.
oh, fuck, I need to. Does anybody get a potion?
But
Um,
into the
So
sorry,
go ahead.
I was just going to into the big airport sequence. Jenny's there. She's there as like sort of the decoy once again, just being used. Eagle and Randy are there. Jenny said, but this is the part that was a little confusing to me. She's supposed to meet Jeff, and she sort of senses something's wrong.
Mm.
starts yelling.
Well, you know, when you go blind, your other senses are heightened.
True.
My reading of that was that.
I thought that was funny. Sorry.
What?
Sorry,
Her spider sense increased because, you know.
it
She's the
was.
Daredevil.
It was funny, and my brain ignored it. I'm sorry. It was very funny.
Hmm.
Um,
All right.
no, I feel like Jenny in that moment is kind of just changes her mind. I think that's what's happening.
okay.
Like
Yeah, that's a good
she
call.
knows it's a sting. She knows what's about to happen, but she just like changes her mind. Just decides if she can shout loud enough, she can warn him, and he can run away.
Right, yeah.
But this misdirect is cool too because they have a guy that from the back looks exactly like Jeff. I think that
No,
was
it was. It
Sydney,
was.
right.
Yeah, he's like leading a Japanese tour group or something.
Yeah, and he's also like slamming liquor. Like I think he's actually drunk because when he's in the holding cell later and they're questioning him, he's like sweaty and
He's actually, yeah.
hair's all disheveled. Yeah,
Unless he's really good at faking it. He's
but
Jeff would know if
It's
he's good
yeah,
at faking
true.
it.
it's a good diversion. Eagle loses his sights on Jenny at this point as well. They escape with the baggage return. Jeff grabs her. Dressed, his outfit here is also crazy. It's giving Dean from Community, constantly showing up in more
Dean
elaborate
from Community, yeah. Community Dean.
Community.
Yeah.
Constantly showing up in more elaborate costumes. This time he's got like a beard because I like it how it like pans over to him and is
Yeah.
his
He's got like and it's like more like a goatee, and he's wearing sort of, I think it's supposed to be like a religious outfit, I think maybe, or like I don't really know, but
I thought he had the suit on.
Yeah, I thought it was a suit.
but
like
he's wearing like a weird hat, isn't he? Or am I just making that up? Or does he have like a weird haircut?
I
He had
think
a weird-
he had glasses. Did he have
Yeah.
glasses?
He had
No.
glasses, and he had like a weird sort of like
Like a-
goatee.
I remember the goatee for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I made up the hat. I feel like he was wearing a hat, but it
He
might
was
have been
wearing
just like,
the-
oh no, his hair is parted sideways.
that's
His hair's
what it
in
is.
the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got like the haircut from like the bartender from The Shining. He's like,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It just
That
looks
is a
like
weird hat, really.
It's
Think
true.
about it.
I mean, all hair is just a hat, basically.
True.
Yeah.
But they also take Sydney into questioning, and he's fucking trashed. And Eagle knows he's Jeff's friend now. Oh yeah, that's how I knew it was Sydney the whole time. Then the sergeant lieutenant or whatever kicks Eagle off the case, and Eagle's like, again, like, nah.
You can't
And he
kick me
looks
off
at
this
Randy,
case.
and he's like, "You keep an eye on him, or you're still on the case, but he's off the case."
The reason he kicked him off the case is he went into his office and saw that every surface of his office was covered in drawings of the suspect.
And,
And like heart Jeff carved into his desk.
Yeah, with a heart around it.
so
Yeah.
many murders were not solved because the one person they had to draw the images of the potential killer was just feverishly drunk.
No, he
pictures of-
developed carpal tunnel. He's in the hospital now because his wrist is all swollen from drawing so many pictures of Jeff.
By the
Yeah.
way, the chief looks like a child cosplaying as
As the detective, yeah.
and
yeah.
like the fact that he's got these giant glasses that are on the
Yeah.
end of his nose, like it's just
And he's like a foot shorter than the character who's shorter than the main character in the movie. So it's
Exactly.
like, if you ever see him and Chow Yun Fat next to each other, it's like you could stack two of this police chief on top of each other before you even think about reaching a full Chow Yun Fat height.
But there was
There's
a good
also-
line. There was a great line where he's like, "You don't know what I'm doing." He's like, "That's right. I don't know what you're doing. That's why you're off the case." I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's a good.
That is
That's a
good
good
also-
shootout."
There's also a moment earlier in the movie where I think it's implied that this lieutenant inspector is like he's waiting for a promotion, like he's not like maybe not even supposed to have that job, so he's also a little bit crooked. That's what I.
Oh, okay.
So he keeps trying to like, but Hard Boiled has this same thing where like Tequila goes and does something dumb, has to go back and stand in front of this guy, and then tells him to fuck off. So
yeah, but this is also a trope that's in every fucking loose cannon cop story that's
Yeah.
ever
Lethal
been put on
Weapon.
screen. You know,
All four of them.
Yeah. You're off the case, McGarnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want your gun and your badge on my desk Monday
Yeah.
morning. Yeah, like all of that is that's just a cop movie thing, and so you can't fault John Woo for using the tools at his disposal, like the things that people recognize, especially when you're just trying to push stuff forward. It's like, we'll just do the scene that that every movie has, and people will know what it is.
And
And
like,
John Woo's been doing it this whole time and for so long that he basically invented the trope. If you
it's kind of
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he invented it. Was there a scene in The Young Dragons where the prostitute leader was like, "I want your dildos and your anal beads on my desk on Monday morning"? I don't think so.
like it's the getting chewed out by the chief is a quality trope, but I like the way it was done in this one. It was really nice. It was like better than the other one, although I didn't quite I didn't have subtitles, so I was just going off the French I could understand, which is like rudimentary at best.
Right.
So the remake might have a better chew out scene. I'm not sure. Did either of you watch it with subtitles?
Yeah, the version I sent you, all you had to do was turn on subtitles.
Also, it's on
No,
Prime.
it's a long story. I know. I should have
Okay.
watched it on Prime. I found that out today.
My bad.
It is, and there's like his direct superior that he interacts with, but there's also like another character that comes in who's like the even higher up sort of detective. So like it's almost like they try to subvert your expectations for that type of scene where his direct superior is almost like giving them like, hey man, like I'm on your side here, but you just need to like put on face for this guy, just like pretend. And they have sort of an understanding where they together are like, okay, you're not gonna be on this anymore. It's just to appease the guy that's even above them, sort of thing.
Was there something about
Because there's international crime involved. I think it's like an Interpol type thing.
and they're like over budget on it. I think was the main takeaway that he kind of.
But he's still telling that guy to go fuck himself. He's basically like, there's like a scene where he's like, you shot this guy. And it's like, well, he had a gun to a child's head, and he also had just shot a police officer. And then he's like, well, he shot the police officer because you guys were pointing guns at him. Like he was threatened, so he shot. And he's like, well, you're threatening me right now. Does that mean I can shoot you? And like that, he's basically like throwing those kind of arguments back in his face. But yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's not like groundbreaking cinema. And I think that what you're saying about that line of him being like, the reason that you're off the case is because I don't know what the fuck you're doing. And like, I think that hits a lot heavier than what they're doing, which is sort of like a play on that type of scene. But it is sort of more or less the same stuff that you've seen.
Yeah,
before.
it's all the same stuff. But I just enjoyed that part.
I think, I agree, because it also, in a lot of those movies, you almost always agree with the person that you're meant to agree with, which is the main character or the person you're following throughout the story, and never agree with their superior, because they're always supposed to be acting rigidly towards the rules or the law. Where in this case, you can almost understand where it's like he almost feels betrayed, where he's like, if you would just tell me, then maybe I wouldn't take you off. But because you're not telling me, I can't give you any leeway.
And I think that works in these movies because it's like they're the voice of authority, and our cop is like way off the rails already.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like these aren't fun movies unless the cop is way off the rails.
Yeah.
So you need to kind of like remind the audience that, you know what, there's actually there's stakes to being crazy. And
you have to operate within the framework of rules that exist. The laws are there for a reason, guys.
And if you're gonna be crazy, this all better work out, or it all better be justified in one way or another. And in a lot of ways, that he sort of subverts that in the end, because it doesn't, like, at least in this version, and not to skip to the end yet, but like it doesn't work out.
Not really for anybody.
I mean, for anybody,
maybe a little bit, but like not in the way that you'd like it to. Especially if you're taking this as a romantic movie, which I think we both are.
We absolutely are. Yeah.
I am as well now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm glad you're on board. We're all on board. Oh yeah, and then doesn't he like while he's getting chewed out? I just have a note, quote, "I'm on his side." Lee says. I don't know where that.
So that is a theme that's played in both movies, actually, where it's like he realizes in both versions of the movie, this character, the character that's meant to be the same character, the detective, or inspector character, he realizes at some point that they are both on the same side. In the remake, there's an actual conversation between the two of them where he's like, "Are you saying we're on the same side?" Whereas in this, he's coming to that realization on his own.
But what's funny about that is going with the gay subtext, I'm on his side, has a whole different meaning.
His backside.
Like I'm on his team.
Yeah, I'm over here, Yeah. If there's a line in the sand, yeah. Yeah.
I also like
we
that,
should we should see John Woo is getting up there. We should bring him in for next week. Let's see if we can ask him all these questions. Is it a gay subtext? He's like, what?
In the next little bit, when and this is something I want to bring through the whole movie, Jenny is like, she asked Jeff if he's going to kill again, and almost in the same breath, he has a shootout coming up here in a second. But she keeps basically, when she finds out that he's a killer, she keeps being like, "You're a killer. Well, you can't kill anymore. You want to, settle down." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll stop killing." And that is kind of like part of the subtext of like, I'll
100%.
stop kissing this guy that I love.
I have a note that Jenny and Jeff are lying in bed, and Jeff has changed his mind. He doesn't want to be gay anymore. Or at least that's what he tells Jenny.
And they hit him with the bisexual lighting.
Yeah. The chicken restaurant across the street turns on, and they got a new lighting setup of blue and pink. Blue and pink chicken.
Yeah, because he literally says in that scene, in this next sequence here, like he's like, I've changed. Don't worry, I'm not going to kill anymore. It's fine.
I'm going to church again.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going back to church. I've changed my ways. We won't have to worry about any more killing.
This is why he's at a church at the beginning.
Yeah. He's like, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned so much.
A lot. I sinned at the bathhouse. I sinned. Yeah.
I sinned at the alley behind the chicken restaurant with the bisexual lighting."
There was so much sinning.
Randy tracks Sydney to a parking garage. The other assassin guys there, Giuseppe, I guess his name is.
Giuseppe the model.
Giuseppe the model. A goon shows up and kills Randy, or tries to kill Randy. Randy doesn't die yet. It was a false kill. Yeah. Then this is something you don't see a lot in movies. A 3-car chase that they all have different like motives for the chase. Just 3 cars all chasing each other. And they manage to knock the goons off the road. The chase continues. The police are now involved.
The 3 cars represent all the 3 points of the star of sexuality.
Yeah, that's a triangle, an upside down triangle.
I call it a 3-pointed star.
Yeah. But then once the goons are knocked out, a police car enters the fray, and Randy gets struck. Sydney escapes. The police get Randy. He brings back the info to Jeff, and Sydney goes to get Jeff's money. We meet back at the church. Eagle goes to see Randy in the hospital. Randy tells him where Sydney went. So as Sydney crashes, he sees like where Jeff drove off to, or Randy, or I don't know. There's so many dumb names. Yeah, he sees where he went. It's up to the church. Yeah. It's kind of out of the way. They mentioned that. And remember Randy saying, "You can't win all the time, but you can't lose forever.
60% of the time, you lose every time."
Now, okay, let me.
And Randy fucking dies right there.
Jeez, sounds like
R.I.P. Randy. There's a point where there's a flashback where it's like Randy and the cop, and it's just like, it's also got this like really soft lighting and very romantic sort of tone to it, where I'm like, oh, is this his ex?
I mean, I think that the movie does sort of put forth that all of these relationships are intimate in some way, because I mean it would have to be, because there's a lot of secrecy involved. There's a lot of things that if were to be revealed would be life-changing to those involved with it. So I think it's I think this to call this movie like an allegory for hidden sexuality would not even begin to scratch the surface of how we're feeling about it at this point.
No, it's not even wrong anymore. It is
Yeah.
the movie.
That's just
It is
what
the
it
movie.
is.
I just want to say
there's-
this.
There's the bullet wound scene where the cop is like healing his bullet wound by putting gunpowder in it, and then he's letting it
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
hold this stick, and it's just like he's plugging that hole.
He bites on a
go.
stick. Yeah, he plugs a hole.
I just
Uh,
want to point out. I just want to tell
A lot of
Sweetheart Pro
STDs
Wrestling-
burn like hell.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's gonorrhea. This what
More like
Sweetheart Pro
gonorrhea.
Wrestling- when Sweetheart Pro Wrestling, when you rewatch this week, we talk about it in length. You'll find out. Just go back when when you watch it later, you'll know. It's all there.
And it's something.
It's something. It's great.
Yeah. Mhm.
We'll make a mini episode out of it. So there's another chase. The goons chase Eagle. Jeff guns up. Eagle finds Jeff. Action roll for no reason. Yeah, there was a funny.
This movie's chased, sexually chased. That's what the whole
Sexually
movie
chased.
is. Yeah. We're waiting for these two to fuck, and they never do.
Yeah.
But they do
Yeah,
have
they're
a romantic
one
moment
movie.
where they kill a bunch of people together at the end,
Sure.
with doves flying around them and them screaming each other's names, and they're sweating.
Our first tip should have been the fact that John Woo loves showing doves.
Right?
I don't know. Is there something inherently gay about doves?
I don't know. It
Magicians.
Magicians. We all know they're gay.
I don't know.
I don't want to be like that's gay, obviously, but
Listen, I know what's gay
Dumb.
and what's not gay, and I'll tell you right now, magician magic,
That's a little bit.
yeah.
little gay. Yeah.
What about
Little tiny.
doves? You know anything about doves?
I think that those are usually used as a symbol of union between two fucking lame straight people. So I don't
Okay,
think that they're gay.
What about pigeons?
I think that having doves as a pet would be gay. Like if you went to someone's house and they had a pet dove, you'd be like, this guy's gay, I think.
We're really into doves.
And
Yeah.
the straighter he acts about it, the more gay he is. I think.
This is my dove. His name's Franklin, the dove.
Tank.
Yeah.
This is Tank the
And this
dove.
is his partner, Dave. Dave the
Call
dove.
him They're
Dave
like,
the
"No,
dove."
bro, come on. Figure it out.
Yeah, they're in love.
Yeah. My two
Straight
doves are in love, okay?
heterosexual love.
What do
They
call
play
it? Love
Mario
dove.
Kart together on the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, the straightest system of them all.
This one's
Okay.
called Falcon.
Dove's name is Falcon.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one's
yeah, that's what you would.
it's called
That's what you would name.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
Steve,
trying
can
to
you-
overcompensate, let's.
These are my two pet
overcompensate all the way.
doves, Phoenix and Falcon.
Can you draw, Steve? Can you draw a picture of a dove, a jacked dove, with this, that says Falcon underneath?
I can draw
with
that,
a
yeah.
scroll, like with like a tattoo scroll.
Yeah, like one of those. Yeah, where it's, like it says like mother or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's-
exactly. But it says Falcon.
It says Falcon. Yeah,
And it's a-
Captain Falcon. Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the second car chase where
Yeah.
The cop, the handler, or like the quest giver, he basically gets away, but then he goes to the drug lord house. Right? We're getting close to that. We're getting close to like the near end part, right? Are we
I
not?
think
Yeah.
we're
so
near.
they-
We're
they make
heading
it
back
to
to the
Jenny's
cabana.
or wherever, and Jenny's vision is getting worse because she's like, "Why is it so dark?" And he just says, "Oh, it's getting cloudy." He also calls Eagle Dumbo for the first time, I think, at this point, which I was like, "What the fuck?" And Eagle gets him. So Jeff tells him to pull the trigger. Goons show up just then. They get dispatched, and she grabs a gun also and shoots it. She thinks she's killed Eagle. Oh yeah, this is that scene where like they're down on the ground and she's like pointing a gun and she's like, I'll kill him," and he just goes like this out of the way.
Yeah,
It just moves out of the way. which I thought
Ow.
was super funny. She's got the gun at his head, and then he just like, just tell her we're all friends here, and also we're gonna have a
But
devil's
there's
three-way.
It's a three-way. It's a three-way face-off. John Woo face-off with like all the guns.
The classic John Woo Devil's three-way face
Yep.
off.
which is also known as Face Off. Yeah.
Which is also nice.
Next
Yeah.
week on the show.
Off. Yeah.
The bat. Okay, so everything is in white. This is the sequence. I think we're going into like the end of the movie. Or was this the apartment before?
No,
everything.
Cabana time. Yeah.
Yeah, the baddies are in white. The walls are white, and Jeff and Jenny are in white. Tells Eagle to get Jenny out of there. Gives him the keys. They do the exploding gas tank move and escape. Another shoot-off chase. There's like 3 chases within 20 minutes.
Can I
3
just say that they really fuck up the hardwood floor? Because
Yeah.
they have murdered a couch and they have fucked up a hardwood floor in this.
Yeah.
movie.
I think that John Woo, a lot of the times, like he'll find like a building that's going to be demolished or something, or like he goes out of it, or at least back in this time he did. He would go out of his way to find stuff that was derelict or things that were going to be destroyed, and he would fix them up a bit, just enough so that it looks convincing on camera, so that he can just completely obliterate it beforehand. In Hard Boiled, I think we talked about it a bit, like the opening in the tea house. That building was scheduled for demolition, but it was like an important building to him in his youth, and he wanted to immortalize it on camera. So he's like, I'm gonna just basically buy to extend the demolition time so that we can film as much as we want in this location and just absolutely fuck it up and sort of immortalize it on camera, which is kind of nice and sweet and cool. And also, like, other filmmakers have done that as well, maybe not to the same degree. Like I think about the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead movie, where there was like, they filmed in that mall, and that mall was like, scheduled for demolition, and they just basically fucked it up beforehand, which is like just smart filmmaking,
Yeah.
like put whatever the blood, what's a bloodless squib called? Like, when there's like a pop, like a wall.
It's
gets
still
shot?
called a squib.
It's still called a squib.
It's just an explosive.
They fuck up so many rooms with these little tiny explosions in these John Woo movies. Like Hard Boiled, that opening sequence, the whole room is just blowing up, and then also he's throwing phone books and dead eagle, dead dove corpses, and also the whole conceit of that opening scene is everybody at the tables have birds. This movie surprisingly didn't have anybody that has like a bird god that is carried behind them, like in the Young
I
Dragon.
mean, in Hard Boiled, it makes sense because it was like that was the
True.
point of the bar, is that like old men would bring their pet birds there to hang out and drink tea with them or whatever. But John Woo just loves birds. That's he's
loves
one of his
birds.
things that he loves. Yeah.
Which is cool. I'm learning about John Woo that he, as an auteur filmmaker, not only is he great at, showing action sequences involving martial arts and gun kata, as you said, but he also
We should
is
do
able-
Equilibrium at some point, but I don't know when we're going to do it. But
He's also able to like destroy a
fu.
room in a really unique gun fu. Also, yeah. He's also able to destroy a room in a really unique way, and we see it a lot in this movie. Also, I wanted to say about John Woo, he is able to in the James Bond movie way, and even he does it well in Mission Impossible 2, where you hard cut from like one scene into framing an area, like setting a new place that you're going to. Like in this movie specifically, it's the dragon boats. In Mission Impossible 2, it was the horse track. He's able to create this new area that we're in, and it all feels like it's happening in this. In this movie, it's a little bit more like this cabana and like unique rooms, and of course,
I think that one of my issues with this movie is that like everything feels a little empty, like the world feels empty until you get to those moments that you're mentioning, Jason, where it's like, oh, now there's like 1 million people for this one moment. But then every other moment it's like completely empty, and it's just people interacting on like barren stretches of highway or a cabana house with no one around, or like, which is just because that's how the movie is low budget and they couldn't afford to populate the areas. When you look at the remake and it's like, oh no, we're gonna do the same sequence, but we're gonna do it in like a crowded French strip of road that has a bunch of people eating fucking croissant. Yeah, it'll be early morning tea time or whatever. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and there's something to it where there's sort of like a charm to that sort of self-contained
Absolutely
sort of empty place, right? Because you're just like, okay, we go here, now we do this.
And because you're not distracted, you're not distracted, but you're not populating everything with movement. You're forced to be interested on what you're supposed to be interested on, which is the performances of the actors, which is why we're getting so much like, man, oh man, I didn't realize how fucking hot Chow Yun-fat is. And it's because I'm not distracted by anything else on screen. And I'm only just staring at his beautiful face for like long stretches of time. Yeah. Which is good. It's for the benefit of the movie, you know? Like, I didn't think watching The Killer by the end of it, I'd be like, am I attracted to Chow Yun-fat? And I'm like, I am. I kind of am. Like, I think he's hot. And I understand why they're in love with each other.
Because how could you not be at this point? Like,
exactly.
You've stared at his eyebrows.
Also, we get to see him with several different types of fake facial hair, different haircuts. He's wearing a different costume and everything.
He rocks all of it.
Yeah, and he does a great job. He basically does the same thing that Z's character does in the remake, whereas Z's, like a beautiful woman, you see that she's a beautiful woman immediately, right? Like that's something that hits you right off the bat. Whereas this movie, you're like, oh, it's Chow Yun-fat. And like my experience with him is like, I've known him as an actor since I was a kid, and he's always been sort of an older man that I never really felt much about. And then I'm watching this and I'm like, Chow Yun-fat's hot as fuck. He's hot as hell. Yeah.
Here's what I noticed about Chow Yun-fat, especially when they were drawing him in the background and his pictures were up all over the wall. There's a professional wrestler named Kazuchika Okada, and he looks almost exactly like this guy to me. That's a bad picture. It looked better on the internet, but they have very similar face as far as being like
Jason's
a very
playing a dangerous game right now.
a very handsome man.
I'm not going to validate any of this.
Okay, fair enough. I also
he's playing the game of, does this Asian guy look like this
no,
Asian guy?
It's not that. And also I was debating whether or not I would bring that up, and also the picture I chose was fucking dramatically bad. I just want to say that a young Chow Yun-fat looks like Kazuchika Okada, who is an incredible professional wrestler. Also, I should mention Okada's Japanese and Chow Yun-fat is Chinese.
Okay. Again, not validating it.
Why don't we move on? Jeff and Eagle fixed Jeff's gun wound with fun powder, is what I wrote. What a fun typo. Gunpowder. They realized they could be friends for the first time in the.
No, they realized they're in love.
Yeah, I think they realized that they are friends and they could be more than that at this point.
Yeah.
This
They're
is
gonna take
like
out Johnny together.
super intimate.
Also, we have to mention that like this is maybe like 5-10 minutes after he witnesses Chow Yun-fat just stab a guy so hard that he's pinned to like a cutting board.
Right. Right. There's a certain level of acceptance you have to get to.
Yeah.
Where you're like, no, you're a good dude.
Yeah, but also I did witness you just like stick a butcher's knife so far into somebody that I think that guy's going to be like need a lot. The jaws of life are going to be involved to detach his corpse from that kitchen counter.
And Inspector Lee is like, I'm smiling. Why am I smiling? I'm always smiling.
Wait a minute. Do I have a shit-eating grin on my face at all times?
Even when I'm patching your bullet holes, I'm smiling. Yeah.
It is a thing though where he doesn't have that. For like you were saying, he doesn't have that all the time. It's just when he's contemplating this other character and thinking about how he's going to catch him or whatever. It's the little playful grin that appears. But even like in those moments where he's witnesses this guy stab a guy, he has this look of shock and he's like, "If you want to arrest me, then you got to help me." And then he takes the gun, and then there is like a hint of that smile that comes in. It's good acting, man. Like,
Yeah,
it's
really
sometimes I find it difficult sometimes, especially when you're watching a foreign language movie that doesn't have a dub or something, where like the context is not always there. I'm relying on those cues, those visual cues, but like even in terms of just cultural difference, sometimes those things don't translate well. But in this movie, the whole time I'm like, he's in love with this guy. He fucking loves this
He's,
guy.
like, telegraphing it throughout, like nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was
it's
another
great.
person that I actually thought that Chow Yun-fat resembled in this movie, and it's this guy right here.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's Chow Old Fat. My favorite actor.
Oh,
That's Chow Broken Nose. That's it. He's trying to save face. Yeah, so he uses a cigarette.
We already forgot about it, so it's okay, Jason. Don't worry. Don't be
He
embarrassed.
uses a cigarette to light the wound. While I was watching it, I was like, "There's a lot of detritus that probably exploded off of his arm from that."
there's a
probably was-
theme of like dirty, unsanitary shit
Yeah.
going into wounds.
Yeah.
Like
This
throughout.
is allegory for like meeting up in a back alley and fuck.
This is glory hole.
This is an
shit.
ad for Grindr.
This is a glory hole, yeah. Also, like, what other movie have I seen where someone closes a wound with gunpowder? I'm trying to.
Hard boiled.
No, they don't. They use it to like blow up like
Oh
a
yeah,
the
they
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it's on the tip of my tongue too. I know this is not the first time I've seen this for sure.
I'm trying to remember what I know. They do it in video game. Like, there's like a video game where like they have all these nasty heals, or whatever. I think it's like a Far Cry game where he like and like does it.
Yeah.
But I swear I've seen it in another movie, but I just could not think of what it was, and I didn't look it up because I thought maybe we could talk about it on the pod, and I would be like, "That's what it is," because I like when that happens sometimes. But
No, I
guess
I'm,
not.
I'm as stumped as you are, unfortunately.
All right. Viewers out there, comment, tell us what movie we're thinking of, please, because I want to know. I don't want to look it up. I like when sometimes when I'm lying in bed and it comes to you and you're like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
and then you go back to sleep and you forget
And
again.
go back to sleep and forget immediately.
Yeah.
Well, listen, these guys, they head back to the church. Now Jenny's fully blind, and they telegraph that by her. So I don't know if you guys noticed this, but even she's doing this through the whole movie. But at this point, they show her like her vision degrading throughout the movie, and at this point, she
They don't show it; she says it. She
They
says
also
it.
show her point of view, and here they show her point of view of like things being like black, like basically black silhouettes. But also, did you notice she's acting in the background a lot during most of the movie? And at this point, she's got a candle and she's putting it like up to her face to imply that she's like, I can't even see
And,
the light
yeah.
of the candle anymore.
She's touching the flame and she's making
Yeah.
she's making it move.
But
'Cause
like in the
that's also-
background,
that's probably
after that, which I
Oh,
thought was
is she
so-
like okay, I didn't notice that. Yeah.
it's,
And
it's
this
one of
is
those
this is
innocent
the opposite
moments.
in the remake, where it's like Jenny is starting to see again at this
Her
point.
vision's going back, yeah. Which I kind of preferred because it like has there's a sensation of hope there that isn't necessarily a part of this version of the movie, because the movie the 89 version, everything feels like it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and tighter as she's getting more blind. The movie is like closing in around them, sort of like as I imagine what her vision is doing, right? And like, you want that to happen. You want her to get her vision back. You want these two guys to butt fuck each other in the back of the church. You want them to win, but the movie is slowly strangling them to the point that like they have nowhere left to go, and their last hope is the guy who fucked them over, who's just trying to save his own face. Basically, he feels so guilty about what he did that he's gonna put his own life on the line, and essentially gets so fucked up that he's like, you have to shoot me now, like you have to kill me, and he does,
And he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that scene where he kind of like puts a bullet in his head. I was like, he's not going to do that.
Yeah, he's his friend. No, he does. Also, the entirety of the sequence where he goes in to the mansion and just like he becomes the coolest character in the movie for about like 8.5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
he
holy
fucking
shit.
shoots everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
he shoots so
literally
many
everyone.
people. He fights like a dog, like a cornered dog. He uses his busted ass hand that he said was useless. We see it in action, and he somehow overcomes what he thought was an impossible disfigurement. And he also like sticks a gun in the big bad's mouth and marches him out of the house. It's cool as he does a cool thing. I think that maybe arguably this is the one thing that is missing from the remake, because this character in the remake is basically the bad guy, right? Like they combine this character.
So I do want to talk about that a little bit, because Sam Worthington, who we all know from Avatar, is doing I was talking to Joel about this while I was watching it a little bit, and Sam Worthington is a British man who was raised in Australia, doing allegedly an Irish accent
Oh, it's
that
so
sounds
bad.
Scottish, and I cannot figure out where. Like, did he just?
It's
not
Irish.
go-
It's supposed to be Irish, yeah.
I know, but
it's an Irish accent. It's just a shitty Irish
it's
accent.
the worst. He was the worst part of that movie. He did have a cool moment, like when he gets shot and he falls back on the stairs. It was really, I thought that was a cool death. But he's comedically bad throughout it, and he's supposed to be.
I don't think it was that bad, but like
I
mean,
thought it was like.
I think the
super bad.
accent was pretty, like, I don't know why they chose that. It's like he clearly has a natural accent that they could have used.
He
They
could have
have-
been Australian. It didn't matter to the plot.
It really didn't. I think that it was almost like they just wanted to have the that line that he uses, which I can't even remember what it is, which is he calls it
Oh yeah, McKenna. He calls her
my
McKenna Sheree or whatever.
of my heart. Something of my heart. It's like
yeah, it's like Gaelic or
Blonde-
something.
it's Gaelic. I wrote
Yeah.
it down. What the hell?
But all of what you're saying is great. There was also the little bit that like
Kushla McCree.
Kushla
Right.
McCree, yeah.
McCushla McKay, which isn't like, it sounds like it's like a mixture between like the Jewish language, which I can't like, what's it called? Hebrew. Sorry, the Jewish language. You know that
The
one.
Jewish
Another
language.
one.
And some sort of Irish, but yeah, and also the other thing where it's like, oh, John Woo has finally figured out that female characters are more than just mannequins and props, and then like he has the main character be a woman, which is an interesting character and I liked, but then he also has this fucking guy who his entire assassin squad is uninteresting, boring prop women characters. Or like, oh,
And
God.
they don't have names.
They
Like,
don't even have names. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was in my notes, they're referred to as blonde lady and Asian girl.
Yep. That's
Because
what they are.
That's
Yeah.
what they are. And,
And they have cool moments. Both of those characters have cool moments, but they are nothing more than, you know, like you think about something like Kill Bill or whatever, where like all the assassin characters are so like infused into the story and richly bled out into like what we understand of them. But that, I mean, obviously that's a different story, it's a different movie, it's a completely different world, but the amount of backstory you get for those characters is not exploiting them in a way where the entire movie takes up the time for us to understand them. We could learn more about these characters in very small amounts of time, to the point that we maybe care about them more, or maybe think that they're cooler than just like this one's Asian and this one's white.
right. Like, and all you need is like a couple of lines of dialogue to say like I have ambitions, or I have a backstory, or whatever it is, to just imply here's a little depth to these pointless characters.
But there also there's the moments where, which I really actually liked about the new one, was like, you know, that moment where he's like, what are you going to be doing for the rest of the day? And then it does that like, sort of split screen where she's like, oh, I'm not sure. And then it shows her strangling like a politician. Or something.
Yeah. I like
And then
that.
he's like, yeah, and then he's like, you know, just day to day, whatever cops do, and he's throwing a guy through a window. Like, I thought that was really cool. Where it's like when he says, "Oh, she's a fan. She's been a fan since she was like a teenager or whatever." They could have done something like that, where it shows her like, like doing a bunch of assassin-y
Like,
stuff.
just really quick, just
Yeah.
a couple of quick cuts. Just
We don't have
Little
to.
backstory.
We don't have to learn everything about her backstory, but we can at least show that like she is also an accomplished assassin, or whatever. But anyway. I think that was an ultimate failing, and it also just makes him seem like the shitty character from Black Widow, you know, like the what's his name, Ray Winston's character or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's
But-
like, I've been training ladies to kill forever. She's like, okay, whatever. Me kushlas are all over the world.
There was a moment during all of this too where like Johnny the villain takes 100 more bullets, and then he reveals he's got a bulletproof vest, and I was like, you've taken, like, you're dead.
Listen, we all know John Woo loves a bulletproof vest reveal. There's
Yeah.
the part in the hospital earlier where, in like the remake, where they both take down the different assassins, and both of them separately are like, they both have fucking bulletproof, and then they show up again.
There
But
were
going-
moments in the remake that were very much like expanded ideas from the original, which I did appreciate. I did think that was cool.
I will say that I did like the idea of Finn, I believe that's his name, being the big bad at the end. Like that kind
Yeah.
of gave
Yeah.
him an arc that
Yeah.
that Sydney didn't have, really. Sydney
Absolutely, but it is like they took maybe like 2 or 3 characters from this movie and meshed them into one, and then
Yeah.
like sort of took aspects of the other characters that existed and made them disposable characters, which is more interesting, right? Like having those dominoes fall over.
But it's funny because there even is a boss wing character in the remake, but then it's actually Finn who ends up killing him.
Yeah,
Which is
Yeah.
really like that was a more interesting thing.
and it's smart too. Yeah, where you assume that that's what it's going to be, right? Like where you're like, oh, he's maybe this character, the Sam Witwer's character is going to or Worthington, whatever, sorry, is going to he's going to side with his assassins, and then there'll be some sort of, because you've seen the original,
Because we've
that's
seen
where
it,
you kind of
yeah.
assume what's going to happen, and then you're like, oh no, it's falling over. Though I will say that moment where he gets assassinated and everybody runs out of the art gallery, and then he goes up and he's like, I fucking got you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what the hell? Like with the
Oh, God,
security
yeah, heroin. Yeah, fucking.
would the
Yeah.
security cameras not see him like poking a dying man? Wouldn't they be like, sir, we need to ask you about why you were
I
poking the
fucking
man?
got ya.
There was also when he dies, when Finn dies at the end. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he's like, it's a perfect crucifix
Mhm.
Yeah,
mirroring
I did
because he's
notice
in
that,
front
yeah.
of the crucifix.
That's why I
There was
liked it. That's
nothing
why I
nice.
thought it was an interesting death. And he's Irish too. They're
Yep.
extremely Catholic. It was a cool death. And also from like a movie making standpoint, the way he hit the stairs, I was like, did he just over and over and over and over fall down on those stairs like for real? Because there wasn't enough of a take for it to be a stunt double. And I was like, did they do something? Remember in Mission Impossible 2 how we talked about they kept dropping the knife, but the knife, no matter how hard you would push down, you couldn't stab him in the eye for that scene. Did they just have him on like a rig so he would fall down and it would look perfect?
Maybe
to make him,
maybe they were like rubber stairs or something, so that
Oh,
and then
okay.
Or he
digitally
has
made
something
them-
behind his back, like a platform on his back that just lowers
Yeah.
him perfectly.
yeah.
Um,
It didn't look like that though. It looked good. Like it was.
or they did
cool.
the old Home Alone where they reverse it.
It was old. No, I think
could've
that's
done that.
legitimate.
No, no, no. I don't
But-
think so. That was a joke. Internet, I was joking. Don't come at me.
there is a
Um,
also in that whole church shootout in the remake. I really like how there's it goes from a Dutch angle
Mm.
and then roams to another Dutch angle, which I thought was just like very John Woo.
They,
It's very
they do
perfect.
that quite a few times in the remake, which I was appreciative of, because like I've always said throughout us doing these movies is like John Cameron. I mean, that's what he should be called, because he knows what he wants his camera to do, and he always makes it interesting. Like the camera angles are never boring, even in moments in the remake that could be just a boring like pan over and this happens. It'll be like a snap zoom to a slow zoom to a pan over, and something passes in front of the frame. You don't really quite know what it is, and
He
then it
also
passes
loves-
back, and then you realize that, oh, it's the frame of a door for a car, that we're now inside the car with the guy, and like it's all in camera stuff. It's
He
not
also
edit.
loves not doing just a static shot. He loves framing a shot that it's moving across two people talking, which I think is much more interesting
It's
than just a
dynamic.
shot of two. Yeah, exactly. Of two people talking. Like both movies do it in spades, and I was surprised to see it happen in the modern, the 2024 version, because I was like, oh, is he just gonna? A lot of the movie just feels like a streamer feature. Like, it just feels like a streamer movie. It looks
I think
like
you
a
should watch it
television
again,
movie.
Jason. I don't think that you appreciated it enough.
Yeah,
No,
I actually
definitely
liked it.
Me too.
Okay.
Although-
I'll go back to what I was saying earlier. I think I just was burnt out on
Yeah.
this idea.
It is hard to watch them back to back. Like there's a little built-in fatigue there. Especially,
I don't think it's bad. Like, this, the thing is like, I didn't find it boring. I found it stressful because I had only 2 hours to watch it, and it was 2 hours and 6 minutes long. When I started the movie, I'm like, I got to be on the podcast in 2 hours, and this thing's 2 hours and 6 minutes long. What am I gonna do? So what I did was I strategically skipped the scenes where what's her name is singing. I'm like, she's singing for probably like 45 seconds. Yeah. So I didn't watch those moments.
I watched the whole damn thing. But
Yeah.
one thing that really, really bothered me was the fish.
Yeah, that
Because-
was wild, right?
The entire setup of the fish is like, here's my roommate, blind person.
Yeah.
It's a
Feed
fish.
him.
Like,
Yeah.
it's the one pet. Like, if it was a bunny, somebody without sight could like feel that. But they picked. It's
A
like
fish.
basically,
One
here's
thing
a
you can't
sphere.
tell. But I feel like that's kind of like an interesting point, right? Is like almost every other pet that you could have is tactile and something that you would interact with, and you could feel its emotion, where it's like you would have to have some sort of extra sensory ability to be able to figure out what a fish wants, because you can't hear it, you can't touch it, you can't really do anything with a fish. You won't even know if it's dead or alive unless you put the food in there and hear it eating or something, right?
And I don't know. It was a weird choice. It does pay off. It does pay off, because that's how she knows that Jenny was captured, because the fishbowl is shattered, right?
And the fish is still inside
Yeah.
the little like part at the
In a
bottom.
little bit of water. Yeah.
Yeah. The fish is okay.
The fish survives.
The fish is
Everybody.
Yeah.
So Jeff is going to donate his corneas to Jenny.
Imagine there was a scene where he put like 10 squibs instead of goldfish.
It's not
Okay.
a fake fish too. Like, the fish explodes into blood, like red blood, which is always crazy. Because like sometimes in movies and video games, when something bleeds red blood, I'm like, that is from the planet Neptron. Don't make it bleed red blood.
Like, well,
Neptunian blood is red. What are you talking about?
That's my brain cannon.
This is my brain cannon from Neptron.
It like shoots an actual laser up.
I do like the idea of a squibbed fish. That needs to be done.
Yeah, they just put a
That's
firecracker
somewhere.
inside of a fucking goldfish.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
20 firecrackers inside of a goldfish. But Jeff is going to donate his corneas to Jenny
This
because
is 89, by the way.
Yeah, we're
That's-
going back to
that's
the
back to
89.
Yeah.
If not, get his money and send her abroad. Sydney makes it out. The Goon Squad shows up. We're in the I keep wanting to say casino, but it's a church. They take out Sydney first, and Jeff has to put him out of his misery, and just like wait for an ambulance instead of shooting him in the head. I guess maybe, honor. But anyway, Eagle forgives Sid or Jeff. They have a final stand, and he yells Dumbo, and then he's like, "Thanks, Mickey Mouse." Because
So we definitely watched a different edit, because in my edit it was Little B and Shrimp Head. It was not
Oh.
Dumbo and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh.
you got you probably watched the Cantonese version. This is the dub. It's Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse and Dumbo in the dub.
Okay, so I'm watching the Cantonese
Yeah.
version. Okay.
I
Because
watched it on.
I think
on
it's
Tubi.
referencing something that is like in Cantonese that is like equally as referential.
Because I had a thing where I started the movie up. I had a downloaded version.
I mean, Dumbo and Mickey Mouse
didn't
is cute, but
have-
I like Shrimp Head and Little B. I'm like, what do those even mean? Like, kind of, it's more intriguing to me. Like, oh, it's like a weird, because
I also
like,
don't-
do you call your friends like you know, like what do you call your friends as nicknames, right? It's never like something from a movie, really, right? It's always like
No, it's like something they
strange.
did or something.
Yeah, something
right?
strange.
All
that's
my
a-
friends pig fucker. So
Yeah.
I remember we like
Fucker.
I worked on a night shift and there was like so many people named Steve, so everybody just started getting nicknames. And like one time we were we were in the we would at night we would be so out of our minds that we were like, all right, let's go around the table on our lunch and what's your favorite milkshake flavor or whatever, and we'd go around and say stuff. And then one guy said lemon, and everybody was like, what the fuck?
forever.
And that's how that guy became Lemon Shake. Like became his
Wow.
nickname, was Lemon Shake.
That's great.
Yeah.
So there's some great action stunts during this sequence. There's an action slide. There was the guy falling through the down through the scaffolding, which was great.
I had the same note.
He hit every fucking
It was
piece of bamboo on the way
perfect.
down.
Yeah, he broke
That's
every
it.
piece of bamboo on the way down except for the last one, which his head just went
Yeah,
off of an lax.
The guy's dead.
Yeah, I think he's dead.
There were a lot of bodies thrown in Kowloon Harbor after this movie.
Yeah, I do wonder like how many broken bones were involved in this movie, especially just in the last sequence alone, because
in this whole church sequence
and burns, because like you got to imagine if you got that many squibs attached to your body, like at least a few are burning your skin.
I will guarantee it's not zero.
Yeah.
Jeff gets Jenny out of there and they start blasting. They throw a roll of shotgun shells underneath Johnny and blast it. He's still fine, I guess. There's a great scene of them walking outside with doves just going crazy, just flying everywhere. They have a pleasantries about Jeff's name, tells him to call him Mickey Mouse, and they start blowing shit up. They walk out of the church, and for some reason there's just explosive canisters everywhere, much like Mission Impossible 2 sort of had that same moment. Johnny gets Jenny, Eagle gets the assassin. Johnny takes out the assassin, so there's no leverage. Johnny shoots Jeff, he gets shot, and he
This
runs
is
away.
just Giuseppe the model is the
Giuseppe
assassin.
the model, yeah.
Giuseppe the model.
Who's still wearing his sunglasses, by the way.
Yeah.
And every time there's like a
Because of
shootout,
nighttime, it makes sense.
yeah, every single time there's a shootout, and he's wearing a crisp black suit with his big ass frame glasses, and it always like he comes in with like like one of those big extended barrel shotguns or something, and he's just like, and it zooms in on him as like a million guys run past him, and he just he looks cool every single fucking time he shows up. He's like a Resident
great.
Evil villain or something, you know?
There's an insane moment at the end of this where Jeff gets shot. I don't know how his eyes get just like blasted out of his head, but he ends up with 2 like raw husks for eyes. Jeff, and then there's the equally insane shot where his eyes are blown out and they're trying to crawl to each other. Jenny and Jeff, they're trying to crawl to each other, but they completely fucking
Miss each
crawl
other.
past each other. And then Jeff dies in the dust while Jenny is doing this again, but kind of like face down in the dirt. Eagle
You know,
kills Johnny
I was
and
so
gets
confused.
arrested, and that's the end of the movie. The end of the movie is the credits playing while Jeff is playing harmonica over like the credits for him, and that's the end of the movie. Sorry, I just wanted to end the movie because I know that you guys
Hey, the movie's over.
We're rewinding it. We're
Yeah.
rewinding it.
yeah, you guys rewind it and tell me all your thoughts about it. I'll be back in 1 sec.
All right. Yeah, the that whole Jenny missing Jeff thing.
Yeah.
So the first time I watched it in the 90s, like that was the scene that my girlfriend friggin' loved. She was just like, it's so tragic. They're in love, but they miss each other. And you know, like I had a different lens of looking at this.
Mhm.
Now I'm looking at them miss each other, and it's like he's not crawling to her. He doesn't care. He's
No.
trying to get to Danny Lee
Because Danny can save him.
because Danny can save him.
Yeah.
And he loves Danny.
He loves Danny, and Danny loves him. But I
And
think
she-
he's also crawling towards the fire because
Well-
it's warm.
Either way, no corneas for anyone. Nobody gets corneas.
It's true, and also, like Jason was saying, I have no fucking idea what happened to his eyes. Like, it doesn't really, nothing happened that made it clear as to what happened to his eyes.
So my reading of it was that Boss Wing shoots him twice in each eyeball. How he doesn't die, I don't know, but he gets shot in the eyes.
I mean, I also didn't fully understand what happened to her at the beginning of the movie, so I also wasn't like, what the fuck? I was just kind of like, oh, well,
I
I
wonder.
guess she's not getting his eyes.
I wonder if
I think it's both of those things. I think it's equally the same way that like the muzzle flash took out her eyes in the beginning. A bullet whizzed by both of his eyes and fucking took them out. But it's the goriest thing I've seen in a movie in a minute, like since doing 80s horror, where
It
it's
looks
so
like
fucking gross.
Sam, Sam Neill in Event Horizon when he's
Exactly.
like, it's happening in space. It's basically that same effect. So in the remake, there's a moment where I thought, oh, this is how they're gonna do it. This is how they're gonna blind her, which is when she's fighting and all this stuff is exploding around them, and then a glass table explodes, and all these glass shards are heading towards Jenny. And I'm like, oh, the glass is going to go in her eyes and just fuck her eyeballs up, and that's what's going to happen. But then she puts her hands up and falls and hits her head, and then she's just blinded. And I'm like,
I thought that too. Or I thought the chandelier, because that's that last scene. So the chandelier is going to fall.
Which I thought was like a good subversion for me, because like I had just watched this one, so I was like, oh, they're literally going to eviscerate her eyeballs. Like she's not going to have eyes. That's going to be even crazier. But then I'm like, oh, she just hit her head. Okay. And then in this movie, it looks like he got his eyeballs stabbed by a bunch of glass, but that's not what happened. Like, who knows? I don't know.
I wonder if John Woo like actually consulted doctors this time around for the remake.
I bet you for the head hitting thing,
Right?
maybe, where it's like,
Yeah.
he probably was like, so I want to cause temporary blindness. What would cause that? And then some doctor was probably like, your brain could swell up and touch the back of your eyeballs, and you could be blind for a bit. You'll see double, triple even.
It's like great, because I don't think it worked the first time around.
Yeah, the first time nobody understood why she was blind. I still don't fully. You guys keep saying muzzle flash. I'm like, that wouldn't blind you. That would blind you for like 5 minutes.
But there's debris that comes out of a muzzle flash, right? Like,
But it wouldn't disconnect your fucking corneas from the eyeball.
it could burn them.
It could burn them, but
I think that's what
he said. Disconnected.
Yeah, I know. It's
he was just making shit up.
the point is she's oblivious to the love affair. That's the whole point. There's a couple of things.
She's blinded by the beard. Yeah, the beard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I was like, the fact Sydney puts the gun in Mr. Wing's mouth is also leading to her thesis.
Gay. Yeah.
Very gay.
Gay.
It is. It's like he's putting an explosive weapon into somebody's mouth and making him hold it there until he's out. And he's doing this to save his, essentially like what we've dubbed as his like past lover, basically.
His past lover.
It's like a revenge thing. Yeah.
And then the other thing is like there's a close-up shot to the statue of the Virgin Mary getting shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that like,
and everyone goes, oh my God.
Oh, I thought that isn't in the remake. That's in the 89.
No, it doesn't.
That's the 89.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, what? Like, is this just that was cool, or is that symbolism?
I think it was supposed. It was meant to symbolize something. Absolutely. What it's meant to symbolize, I wasn't entirely certain of, because it's completely shattered. Like it's like being blown to smithereens. And almost everybody who we care about in the movie is reacting to it, right? Where they're like, "Oh my God!" Like that's
shot a statue.
They shot the statue of the Virgin Mary. Don't they know who that is? That's God's mom.
You don't shoot God's mom.
Not in the house of God.
God's mom.
Yeah,
you cannot shoot God's mom.
There's just one rule here: don't shoot God's mom.
You can shoot anybody else in this church, but don't shoot God's
too
mom.
far.
Yeah.
So I think that that sort of like corniness sort of helps the whole thing, like helps the whole
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
It sells it all in a way, but my question is, what's Danny Lee gonna do? Because he does survive.
I know, and I think that he has only one option, and that is to ensure that Jenny is okay and gets her eyeballs
Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah. Does she get her eyeballs fixed? Does she end up getting her
It's
corneas replaced?
it's unclear
It's unclear, just like
yeah.
her vision.
because she
Yeah.
because she can't have Chow Yun Fat's gorgeous eyes anymore. That's over. So
Nobody can.
Nobody can.
Somebody could still have those eyebrows though. They didn't get blown off.
Wait a second. Jeff's eyes are only for Danny.
True. Wow. there we-
Oh, no one can have
did it.
them. Nobody
did
can
it.
have them. Yeah, no one can
Should-
have the eyes.
Then
Yeah.
should we? With that, should we go into our final thoughts?
That's crazy. That
Right?
actually is crazy. No,
Yeah.
that okay. So this whole time I've been sort of like wishy-washy, but also like I believe it the whole time. But you saying that just then makes me be like, there's no way.
There's no way,
There's no
right?
way he accidentally made a gay allegory.
Like
there's
the
no way.
first thing I Google after watching this movie is John Woo gay? It's like, no, he's straight, blah blah
He's
blah.
straight, but he loves making gay
How
shit.
did he make the gayest movie ever?
Yeah, it's really sad that actually the second one is a little bit gay too, or the remake is a little bit gay. It's not as gay, but it's a little bit gay.
It's I would say not really,
Not nearly as much as this, where I'm
Well,
thinking.
you think it's gonna be hetero, but then they become friends, and it's still
yeah.
I think that it could have been way gayer. Like, sorry, when I say way gayer, I mean like way gayer. Because this is like a movie that I guarantee you, like a bunch of straight people love and don't even see these connotations that we're putting forth now. But like the new one, nah, it's more
No.
just like no, yeah. I mean, you could try and connect them together accidentally or on purpose, but it's not going to be nearly as this movie is just like oozing gayness. Like, it's
Oh
so gay.
man, it's ridiculous.
You cannot have a moment where a man is in a room that is completely plastered with hand-drawn sketches of another man's face with different sets of facial hair, smirking and being like, he's really empathetic. Those eyes, like,
Yeah,
I fucking
right?
love those eyes.
Like that the whole description that he's telling the sketch artist is just like, you're in love. There's no other way to look at this movie.
I know somebody we need to send this movie to. Stat.
I think we've ruined The Killer for a lot of people, by the way.
Yeah, but we've also made it way better for a
yeah,
lot
we
of
probably made it better for more people than we ruined it for. If
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
I mean, I hope so. 'Cause-
I think that I like so watching the remake and this is a final thought, so maybe we should just
Hey,
move to that.
let's go into it. Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yep.
Shall we? Shall we?
Hallelujah.
Shall we? Once I figure out where it is. Oh, here it is.
no!
If you had to pick one,
What do you think the Home
when
Alone of it
is
all?
the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone?
I
of it
really
all
gotta
happens?
know.
When is the Home Alone of it
What
all?
is the Home Alone of it all? Now that's the Home Alone of it all.
That's so fucking funny because you clicked the thing that's supposed to come after. Anyway,
I
That's what it-
clicked the thing that was written, so we need to maybe change the names of these things.
yeah. So the idea of the Home Alone of it all is the idea that in the movie Home Alone, the part that we're all there to see is the sequence when Kevin McAllister slaps down the blueprint to create the nightmare domicile of horrors for the intruding burglars. What we've posited over the years doing the show and also just communicating with one another is that most movies sort of have that sequence that you're there to see. So the Home Alone of it all is that. It's basically the sequence you're there to see. In addition to that, what we require is your final thoughts and your rating for the movie. So, Joel, this is your first time here. Do you feel comfortable going
Oh, yeah.
first with
Sure,
those sort of
sure, yeah.
parameter?
Yeah, I think the Home Alone of it all for me.
The homo of it all? So we just
the Homo Alone of it all, which is Daddy Lee at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
is that apartment scene. That apartment scene with them holding guns to each other, improvising their relationship while Jenny is blind and oblivious, is the entire thesis of the whole movie, in my opinion. Now, what I'm there for is like a million guns blazing with like 10 reloads.
Yeah.
But now I don't know. This movie is it's changed for me. It's endearing in a very different way now.
How about
But-
your final thoughts and your rating?
Well, before I do that, I got to give my final thoughts on the remake.
right.
Yes.
So the remake is like a really, really competent retelling of this story in a better way, reordered in like whoever wrote it. I didn't actually look it up. I kind of assumed it was John Woo, but I didn't see. But I think somebody else wrote it. It's structured just way better. Everything has a setup and payoff throughout.
It's written by 3 people, by
It's
the way.
3 people? Okay.
Yeah.
Like the tailor that she helps at the beginning pays off twice.
Yeah.
And at the end they take the bullet scene from the beginning of the first movie and then they flip it to the end where he's sewing her up. It's the tailor sewing her up. The Home Alone of it all in the Killer remake is probably the hospital scene. I think the hospital scene is really fun.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's-
Yeah.
It's got some good shootouts.
It's got a lot of like, you ever play like the Hitman video games where like they're-
Very much so.
yeah, feels like that. Yeah.
And also sword in your bra.
Yeah.
Like, come on, cool. Okay. OG Killer, I would give it it's hard to rate it because it's so campy, but like I'm gonna give it at a camp value 10 out of 10. As a movie, 5 out of 10.
All right.
All right.
And the remake is a solid 7.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. How about you, Steve?
Well, the Home Alone of it all for the original 89 version of The Killer is probably going to be the moment where the betrayal happens between his handler, whose hand doesn't work, and himself, which is when the bisexual lighting is really on display, especially after this conversation where I'm starting to piece things together in a way that like I was always sitting there being like, this movie's very gay. This movie's gay. And then when I saw the bisexual lighting, I'm like, wait a minute. Does John Woo know? Does he know? Is he doing this on purpose? And then the more we talked about it and the more that I watched it, I kept my suspicions only grew more and more to the point that I'm like, these guys are in love with each other. They just want to be together. That like by the end of this, they should get on a boat together and sail to an island and live happily. But also what you said at the end was just like, he only has eyes for Lee. I'm like, okay, well, now it has to be true. Like John Woo wrote this for sure for the gay audience, and whether he knew it was going to connect or not, it's connected today, folks. We know.
Or
the allegory-
John Woo has buried some feelings.
or
very
he's just,
deeply.
maybe he's just a really cool guy who's like, I haven't made a movie for the gays yet. Like, what about them? Who knows? When it comes to the Home Alone of it all for the remake, Sword Bra, absolutely. Where I'm like, oh, this is the same scene. This movie's the same movie. I sent Jason like the gif of Pam from The Office being like, it's the same picture. Like,
the same
like
picture.
it's the same fucking thing. But when she starts connecting a sword together from little bits and bobs of her, I assume that sword was made of plastic because they weren't, when
I
they
think it
were
was 3D printed.
wanding her, like it
Yeah.
wasn't setting off anything. I'm like, she used a plastic sword. That's so cool. but like final thoughts between the two of them. The fact that we were able to solve the mystery as to whether or not this is a gay allegory or a metaphor for you know a gay man longing after something that he really wants and will never be able to get is so interesting and cool. And then the new one is more or less the same story, but told in maybe a more structurally sound way, but maybe not as interesting, because there's so much interesting stuff happening in the original now that we've discussed it versus what happens in the new one, which is like, you know, a very competent action movie with some interesting camera work and a lot of cool stunts. And I would say watch it. Like it's good. Like it's not a piece of shit. So if you're gonna watch this one and compare it to the new one, you know, there's enough good in both that I think you can enjoy them. When it comes to ratings, oh man, I think for the new one, I will give it 4 or 5 costume switches of a man that should fall in love with you in a suit, but also like, what will happen when you put the suit on, lady? I don't know. Ooh la la. That's my rating for that one. And then for the original, my rating is a movie that should have had bisexual lighting since frame 1, but only gets it about halfway through.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Those are my ratings.
My Home Alone of it all this week for both is very easy. The last half hour of both of these movies is fucking sick. It's both movies somehow John Woo at his maximum John Woo-ness. They're both great shootouts in a church, all the connotation that comes with that. I think the original edges that out because of the exploding Mother Mary statue. When it comes to final thoughts for both, I'll tell you, and I've said this throughout the episode, like I really, really like the 1989 version of this story because of the way that it's told with, like it like cinematography wise, it's shot obviously in the 80s, so it looks like an 80s movies. The modern version of that didn't resonate with me because it felt like they remade something really good. But the thing is with John Woo directing the remake, like you really have to recognize that he deliberately made the choices for that movie that he made, and he
maybe he is homophobic and he's like, oh no, I made a really gay movie. Yeah. I have to remake it so it's less gay.
I'm gonna make it a man and a woman and they're both black. That's what I have to do to not make it as gay as it was. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Right. Exactly.
And French also.
And French. Super French.
I did like that it was set in France. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, me too.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It felt like more like a James Bond. But anyway, I really enjoyed the original, and I had qualms with the sequel, but I think that was just because, as we've talked about it all night, I realized that I think I just was like done with this theory, this idea, this conceit. So what I'll say is for rating. What?
I just thought of something very stupid, and I'm sorry I couldn't hold it. I should have muted. I'm sorry.
I love stupidity.
I was just picturing Jason being the blind guy, and then like he gets his vision back, and then being like, and then he sees the two of them, and he's like, "Wait, you guys are both black?" Like he didn't know they were black the whole time.
Well, it's funny you say that because as far as final thoughts, both movies are fine and not great. Both movies together, one edges out the other, and I think I learned that if you watch them in opposite order, I might have felt the same way in reverse. Like if I had, like I said earlier, like if I had watched the remake first, I might have been like, oh, that fucking 80s version, like what were they doing? But we'll never know because of the way that I watched them. So both movies, good for what they do.
Right.
My rating is I'll never know the truth because of the order I watched them, and also I can't see because I'm blind. Also, just smash cut. I gave the original 4 out of 5. I gave the remake a 2.8 out of 5. So
Okay.
I'll never know. I'll never know the truth. But with that, we sort of have to go into our plugs.
What do you mean we gotta do the plugs? All right, let me just plug this in right here and.
Joel, what do you have to plug this week, friend?
I don't have much to plug. I now make art for podcasts, so it's by reference only. So if you know people, send them my way. But randoms, no, thank you. and I've done some animations for the Stanland podcast, which are on their YouTube page under Shorts. And aside from that, you can see me on social, probably yelling at conservatives.
Yeah, that's where most of us are these days.
Yeah.
I'd like to, much like Johnny Carson, I'd like to extend the couch to you anytime you'd like to come back. I know it was a foregone conclusion. I knew it was going to be a fun talk, but I'd like to tell you right now that I'd love to have you here. Just come back.
Yeah, we didn't know how gay it was going to get. It got so gay, and I'm so happy about that.
Was not my intent, but hey, that's what happened.
Well, thank you, Joel. You're a fucking fantastic guest, and I love you, brother. You're a one of one, dude.
Love you too, dude.
Steven, what do you got cooking on the back burner this week, brother?
Oh my God. What do I not have burning? Am I right? There's too many pots. I can't keep my eyes on all of them. Everything's on fire. I mean, I'd also like to plug Stanland again as I have in the past. It's rare that we have another Stanland and alumni here. It's great. I'm a small part of the main series. I do the narration for the trailers, and I also play a few characters throughout the series. Elves, as you know, you animated me being weird.
I've listened to your voice. It's so much that like in micro editing, it's crazy. I had to I had to figure out every phenome of language.
Yeah. And then we also did the spin-off for Stanland, which if you're a subscriber, you can listen to those episodes. I believe they're going to be going up at some point soon in the future for non-subscribers as well, where I play a whole bunch of characters, which is very fun. But also Mike Sachs, the creator of Stanland, has another podcast coming out, or an audio drama coming out, based on something that he had written years and years ago and recorded years and years ago with a whole bunch of interesting celebrities as well. And I'm re-editing a lot of those episodes to be released, never before seen on the internet. So it's going to be kind of cool. I did re-edit a scene recently and something was wrong with the audio for one of the characters. So now I get to be in it. Yay! Voice acting.
Awesome.
Fun. Yeah. It's called Randy, and I believe we're trying to release the first episode in February. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. Other than that, I also do voice acting for the Darth Theorist and the Three-Eyed Theorist YouTube channels, where I am the narrator and every single character, which is fun. We're doing quite well in terms of subs.
Where do you explore the depths of it?
Let's explore the depths of it in the video, which is on those channels. And yeah, we're about to hit 50K, I think, on the Three-Eyed Theorist, which is cool, and we're still growing closer and closer to 100 on Star Wars. So if you guys like it, but we also have a third channel coming soon, which again I'll update you guys when we have that. But also next month on this channel we have something very cool, which I'd like to show soon if we can. Jason, let's do it. Wait, right now? I know I don't have it. I could upload.
Do you have it ready?
I could upload it while you do yours.
Well, it's going to be crazy next month, and we're going to find all about that in just a moment. But I'd like to let all of you know that this podcast is part of the United Federation. Nope, start that over. This podcast is part of the United Federation of Podcasts right here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Kick. You can find us each and every week right here at 8 p.m. Eastern. And this is the podcast you're here to see, and this is the podcast you want to see, because it is great. We have a new guest each and every week, and myself, Jason the Kill R. Phillips, and Stephen Bubble Blackfly Waters will be here kicking out the jams, I guess. In addition to that, my name is Jason R. Phillips. I'm a professional wrestling announcer here in Toronto. Tomorrow night, if you're watching this live on January 22nd, on January 23rd, you can come to Super Kick. Super Kick Friday night. Tomorrow night, the main event is Jesse Veer versus Tarek. We have a 420 championship that is Jax Williams versus Dior Nollins. We have a body count match where we see Dallas Kyle face off against Jay Blast, AC Fitz, Crazy Kyle. Tag team championship versus the Flatliners versus the Double D's. Women's match, Vanna Black versus Taylor Rising. And a special tag team match, Pretty Ricky and Full Dawn versus Psycho Mike and Do-Rag. You can find that all tomorrow night. And if you're watching this in the future, it's already happened, but you can find that over on our YouTube page at Superkicked, January 23rd. Get your tickets at superkick.ca. It's going to be a great show. And the thing that's crazy about that is I'm returning to the ring as announcer for the first time since October 2025. So we're back in full swing. And, you know,
can I just say that if you haven't been to Superkick, for the audience listening, it is so much fun, especially if you know nothing about wrestling. It is such a good time. I've been a few times, and I've enjoyed it every single time.
I've been going for about 10 years, maybe a little bit more than that, actually. And like the first time I went, I was like, oh, this is unbelievably entertaining in person. And then, you know, I don't go all the time, but I go often, I go often enough, maybe a couple times a year, right? What would you say, Jason? Oh, yeah.
I would say twice a year. Yeah.
Twice. Yeah.
I have to. Yeah.
I can't go every month. It's too much. I don't like when other people touch me, and so people touch you a lot.
If you aren't a wrestling fan, it's a great time. If you are a wrestling fan, it's fucking the top
an amazing
wrestling company in Southern Ontario. Like, I love when I look out into the crowd. I'm the voice. I'm the announcer, and I look out in the crowd. And I see people I wouldn't normally expect to go to a wrestling show. That's my favorite thing. And Steven specifically, when we came in and started coming to the shows, and I would look out, and I'm seeing genuine enjoyment from somebody like Steven.
Rare.
He's not a wrestling, rare at on a baseline, but also enjoying wrestling. Insane. And Joel, I think you like wrestling a little bit more than Steve, but even still, like, seeing people come out and enjoying professional wrestling, it's very important to me as a professional wrestling fan. And also, I trained my whole life to get in front of a crowd and say the names of the wrestlers louder than anybody else could possibly say them. I really just appreciate you guys coming, and I appreciate anybody that comes to these shows, and they're always sold out. So get your tickets now.
All right. Jason, you've been on a soapbox for 5 fucking minutes.
Well, it's my soapbox. Let's see a preview for next month.
Okay, so just in case anybody's wondering, we're going to be doing a little old trilogy that people understand to be good, bad, depending on your age. But here we go.
Hello there.
Us Iceland Spaceport.
We are still flying half a ship. Your move.
Hello there.
Hello there. Hello there. Hello there.
trap. Next move? Spring the trap. Your move. Spring the trap. Your move. I will deal with this Jedi slime myself. Your move. Kenobi. Your move. I have a bad feeling about this. Spring the trap. Your move. I have a job to do, Anakin. Try not to upset him. Kenobi. Try not to upset him. Your move. Go about your business. Move along. Go on. Spring the trap. What about Padme? She seems to be on top of things. Your move. Do you have a plan B? Kenobi. Plan B. Kenobi. Plan B. Plan B. Another happy landing.
That's right. We're doing the prequels. I don't know if you guys.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know, but my favorite character is Obi-Wan.
I also feel like when we ask, "Hey, did you see this one?" for the full month, everybody's going to say yes.
Yeah, I saw that one.
If anybody dies, but like I'm in. Like I
mean, I think
will seat fill.
so. We have the fourth day of the month that I think we decided were we going to do Solo. Is that it?
Solo was-
I love that movie.
But I also was going to pitch that we do the Clone Wars animated series as a movie.
I'm in.
That's really good on mushrooms. I mean,
The cartoon one, like, do you know, like the
yeah. Oh, I know.
the 2D
Yeah.
ones, right? Like the what's his name?
Oh, the Samurai Jack one.
The Gendy one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
if you watch those, if you watch season 1 and 2 of those end to end, it's about the length of a movie, and it's pretty good. So, but we could just mostly because it has a lot of Obi-Wan in it, but also we could just do Solo. Solo is also an option. So
We'll have a
Solo.
conversation.
I'm available. Is all I'm gonna say.
Hell yeah.
We also
Okay.
have, for every episode so far, we have 2 guests, except for Attack of the Clones, or is that what Alex decided she wanted to be on? I can't remember.
I think it's we'll talk about it off.
Yeah, well, yes,
offline.
right. This is a conversation.
But,
But anyway, I hope
yeah.
everyone's excited because I'm excited to talk about the prequels. We've never talked about Star Wars at all on this podcast.
Well, we kind of have. We do have you talking about Obi-Wan, the TV show, on our channel.
That's
which
true.
is-
But also, we're going to be partnering with the Darth Theorist channel, which has
Yeah.
like lots and lots of subscribers. So I'm hoping that like we can, find a new group of people who'd be interested in us as characters, through that. So if you're watching it now, we love you, but let's open the floodgates to the nerds.
But well, we're gonna get out of here now. But there's just okay. So I have to say, oh, here comes the floodgates. Speaking of which,
Uh-oh.
oh, you suck them, you some or whatever.
Is that what you said? Perfect.
Okay, so Joel, of course, you know that this show is called "Hey, did you see this one?" There's one very important question that needs to be asked right now. That's asked each and every week, and I'd like you to ask that question right now.
Hey, did you see this one?
Wow, I can't believe we did 2 movies in one, and they
It's 2
both
movies in
were
one.
the same equal level of gay. Wait,
And
sorry,
there's-
I'm reading the wrong script. One was gayer than the other.
They were both super gay, and I think that it was important that we identified it about all of us, in fact.
I mean, the fact, you know what? It's there. It's just there. It just needed to be uncovered.
It's true. I feel like no one's done a deeper dive into the gay layers of the onion that is The Killer.
I was shocked, to be honest. Like watching it, I'm like, well, like once I saw it, I was just like, this is the movie, and like it just played out like that. So yeah.
What do you think was gayer, this movie or Freddy Krueger 2?
I never saw Freddy Krueger 2.
Freddy Krueger 2 is gayer, but this movie is gayer in a better way. Freddy Krueger 2 is more about being scared of being caught for being gay, whereas this movie is about longing for gay love. And you know what we all long for is gay love.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.
Holy fucking shit. I got that motherfucking triple-decker toasted peanut butter bacon jelly sandwich, man.